And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I'm not sure where to start. First of all, we still have the Iran conflict going on. The Strait of Hormuz is going to be open pretty soon. The Iranians say, we don't know where the mines are, we can't find them. We'll talk about that a little bit more, a little bit later. Also, Eric Swalwell, bro, really? 4 women that came out and said that you did something to him. We have video of you with a young lady who's not your wife, and some other guys in the room. It's really weird. What's happening with you, Eric Swalwell? Is it a ploy to make you be toxic so you don't become the front runner, so the Republicans don't have a chance? I don't know why they would do that, but we'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the Artemis II moon mission has come back to Earth. They splashed down off San Diego. Some say this is a hoax. They didn't really do it. They didn't really go anywhere. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, President Trump is not a big fan of the so-called MAGA influencers who have kind of become turncoat in a way. Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones. He put out a big, crazy, lengthy statement talking about them, and they have responded. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. And we got a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We have quite a bit going on tonight. Shout out to Eric Swalwell. That right there, to me, is the biggest story. Aside from the Iran situation, which is also a story, the ceasefire, the whole point was to get the Strait of Hormuz opened. But the Iranians are saying, well, we put some mines in the water so you can't get any ships through there. Because you guys, if you don't know the way mines work, they can put basically bombs in the water that will activate once you get near it, cross over it. That's going to be your mine. Now, the U.S. at one point was asking some NATO countries for minesweepers to try and deal with the problem, but they say, oh, we don't want to get involved. Oh, okay. So y'all don't want to get involved, right? But you're part of NATO. Why are we part of NATO if you guys don't want to get involved? What's the point of NATO if you guys don't want to get involved with this military action we got going on? Is the purpose of NATO to defend Europe from Russia? What do we get out of the deal? What do we get from a free Poland or free Austria? What do we get out of the deal? Okay, we want the entire world to be free from the Iranian regime, and also the Iranian people themselves, especially, first and foremost. We want them to be free. So when we go on this mission to deal with them, y'all don't want to help? Oh, okay, don't worry about it. Hey, if you need us to protect you from Vladimir Putin, we gonna need a little bit of, you can need some monies or something. Hey, you want us to protect you from Russia? Well, how about we get some U.S. interests over there in Western Europe? Matter of fact, can we get London? Throw London in there. You could keep all the Afghans. Hey, keep all the Middle Eastern stuff. Keep all of them. Let us get London, the regular London, the normal London, and then we'll protect you from Vladimir Putin. Okay, that might be what I say. But seriously, if you don't want to help in a situation, why are we in NATO? What's the point? Is it a one-way street where we help you and you don't help us at all with anything ever? It's ridiculous. But anyway, back to the minesweepers. We wanted some minesweepers from some of these nations. They don't want to do it. Now we got to say, look, Iran, open the strait. Okay, we got a ceasefire. Now they say we can't find the mines. Now what the U.S. is talking about are sending underwater drones to find the mines. We'll see if we can do that. Hopefully we can, because the gas prices out of control. What are you guys paying for gas? It's still high, but thankfully it has not risen more than it was last time I asked you guys. I'm thinking it's like what, 380 something around my neck of the woods in East Tennessee, about 380 something. Surprisingly, I saw Atlanta was like 370 something, depending upon where you are. I'm like, okay. Now, if you're living in California, hey, you know, Elon, hey, my heart goes out to you because you guys are paying your arm and a leg and the firstborn child. You guys are paying everything. You guys are paying with your pride, your self-respect, your dignity, all of that. You have nothing left to actually spend unless you are a quadrillionaire, unless you're like a LeBron James, Elon Musk. Okay, one of these guys. I saw $10 or like $9.49. It's like, come on, man, this is ridiculous. So let's get that Strait opened. Let's get them mines swept out of the water so we can just go back to business as normal. You know, some are going to say, well, you shouldn't have started the war, ABL, and then there wouldn't be no mines in the water. Well, at what point was this going to happen? At a certain point, it was going to happen, whether we initiated it or whether they did. If they started, it was going to be worse because with them, it would have been a closure of the Strait and nukes. It would have been sending us all back to the Stone Age, in my humble opinion. Some may disagree with that, and that's totally fine, but I think that would have been the eventual outcome. I'm not sure when, but it would have been, in my humble opinion. So let's get that Strait opened. Let's get the gas back down to normal. I'm seeing some of the gas prices. David Weaver says $7 in California, out of this world. James says $3.54 close to Houston. Wake Up 911 says $4.19 Pennsylvania. Who else? Perfectly Normal says $6.75 in California. Wow. Philadelphia, 5 a gallon. Oh my goodness. Mr. Mo says $4.80 diesel in West Texas. Wow. So there's a whole lot going on. Gary says $4.49 in West Central Idaho. $4.15 in Indiana. Fire emission. Shout out to you guys. Wake Up says we have plenty of gasoline in the USA and we're filling up tankers in the Gulf of America. Well, hey, I'm glad we have plenty of oil here, plenty of fuel, plenty of energy here in the USA, and we're not totally relying upon the Middle East, unlike a lot of part of Asia. But like I said before, 80 to 90% of Asia's liquefied natural gas comes from Qatar. Just that one country. 80 to 90% of Asia's LNG, liquefied natural gas, comes from that one place called Qatar. And they cannot get their stuff out appropriately because the Strait is shut down. But once we get it back open again, we'll be back up and kicking like the way we should. Okay, hamburger meat, $12. Hey, but hopefully we can get past all this and get everything right back to normal. Now, a tiny country, that's right, Dave, a tiny country, very small country. 80 to 90% of Asia's LNG is crazy. All right, but shout out to you guys. Now, Eric Swalwell, that, like I said, is my biggest story, Eric Swalwell, because this guy, listen, I don't know what's going on. I'm going to ask you guys. So what do y'all think? Do you think this is organic? Because the way this whole thing broke was a lawyer by the name of Cheyenne. I don't want to say her name incorrectly. Let me just make sure I'm saying the wrong thing. Because it was one young lady who put the story out there at first. Okay, so let me see here. Her name was or is... Hold on, now I got to find it. Y'all give me a second. I am going to find this right quick. So it was the first one. Eric Swalwell. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It was a lawyer. I'm going to find her name in a minute. But a lawyer, a young lady, a Democrat, by the way, so it's not the MAGAs, because Eric Swalwell tried to say, oh, this is the right-wing MAGA. That's always the excuse. Whenever they do something wrong and they get called out on it or they get caught, they want to say, oh, that's right-wing MAGA. That's MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. Oh, okay. So the Democrats who don't like MAGAs, who hate Trump and conservatives and everybody, are the ones calling you out, but it's still somehow Orange Man bad. Oh, okay. That's totally fine. Cheyenne Hunt is her name. That's the lawyer who put the story out at first. So was it organic from her to get all the women to come to her and say, hey, this guy did something to me. He touched me inappropriately. He assaulted me. Was it a setup or was it organic? Some say it was a setup because he was leading the Democrat in the polls and he would have gotten a nomination to become the governor in California. He would have got a nomination. And if he was to be the pick, then he would have a weaker chance of winning compared to, let's say, a Katie Porter. I don't know if I buy that. I don't think that Katie Porter has a good chance of becoming the governor of California. I don't think she would have a better chance than Eric Swalwell, because we saw Katie Porter. Remember the video I did that bit Bulldagger getting mad at the reporter because she was asking her questions and walked out of the interview, stormed out of the interview? All you got to do with her is put out a compilation of her freakouts, her crash outs, that'll pretty much kill her campaign too. So I don't understand why some think that this was a thing that was done inorganically to get him out of the way, because someone else would be a better pick. And if he was in there, he would lose to a Republican. I don't think California would lose. I don't think California would go to a Republican at this particular point in time. I don't think so. I would hope that it would happen, but it's California. Put it to you this way. Gavin Newsom became the governor, and he was recalled, and he beat the recall. So I don't understand. If Gavin Newsom could be someone who survives in California, survives the recall, and is elected in the first place, then how would a Republican win that state? Chad Bianco, I like Chad Bianco. But do you guys think, and I'll be honest with me now, I know it's you could be wishful thinking, I understand, but do you guys think that Chad Bianco could become the governor of California, the Republican? Do you guys think that? And if not Chad Bianco, if not Eric Swalwell, then who? Again, Katie Porter, kind of crazy, kind of nuts. Something ain't right. Her cornbread not done in the middle all the way. It's a little bit not quite right. It's a little bit cool in the center, like it's a steak, but it's not a steak. She has no chance. And who are the other candidates running? I don't know. Do you? But I'm not in California, so you guys may know more than me. You guys may know more than me on that, but I think what's going on is that it was organic, and Eric Swalwell was, this was bound to happen because everybody knows about Eric Swalwell. It's not a secret. Everybody knows that he got a problem with the women. The Chinese Communist Party knew that about him, which is why they got sent that Chinese spy. That's why he got Yum Yum on his back. That's why they sent him Fang Fang many years ago. I think he was in college when that happened. So they knew about Eric Swalwell, probably going back to high school, that he was freaky like that. And there's a video of him. I'm going to play it later. Ain't nobody naked or nothing, so it's not quite like that. But he's in this room that they say is his house, but there is like a sprinkler system in there. I don't know. It appeared to be a hotel room, but they said it was his house. And he's with a few people in the room. It's him, a young lady, and a guy on the bed, and another person recording. So it's at least 4 people in the room, and he's all on this girl, kissing her in the face. Whole time he's been married since 2016, a decade. But that don't matter. What does marriage matter to these guys? Just like Kristi Noem's husband. Hey, now they're saying that Kristi Noem's husband, Byron, I will not call him Brian, because who spells Brian Bryon? Nobody does that. And I'm not going to have part of my name part of his name. I'm not going to have part of my name and my dad's middle name be associated with this guy with these big fake Dolly Parton water balloons on his chest. Okay, I'm not going to do that. But anyway, so Byron Noem, Kristi Noem's still husband, what they care about marriage? She don't care. She over there with Corey Lewandowski, the James Woods character from Casino, the Beverly Hills pimp. That's what he is. Corey Lewandowski, you got married to a 9/11 widow, bro. A 9/11 widow, and you cheat on her with the whole of Washington, D.C. Everybody in D.C., I mean, good grief. Good grief, sir. But at least, as compared to Eric Swalwell, he's not just doing things for pleasure, right? Corey Lewandowski is trying to get that money. He's trying to get some money. That's why he's married to a 9/11 widow, because a lot of benefits will come with that. A lot of money to come with that. A lot of benefits. Kristi Noem, a lot of money, a lot of benefits. Eric Swalwell just nasty in general. He don't really care. He kissing college girls in the mouth on camera. He don't care. While he's married, it's just nasty. Guys like that should not be in office. And truthfully, the Democrats don't really have anybody nationally or in California. California should go red because those are the only guys and girls that have any sense in this country at a certain point. But will they? Because the Democrats don't have any sense, but they are a reflection of their constituents who vote for them. Not you guys who live there, but those who vote for them. They have no sense either. They see themselves in a Corey Lewandowski. Well, although he's a conservative, but not really. They see themselves in the Eric Swalwell and the Katie Porter. So we say, why would you vote for people like this who are crazy and got a lot of weird stuff going on? It's because they're crazy and got a lot of weird stuff going on too. So hopefully you guys in California will be spared from that man and you will get a guy in there that has some sense. Chad Bianco, may God bless you. Godspeed. Hopefully everything works out for you and for the entirety of the left coast because it doesn't look good right now. Eric Swalwell, bro. Interns, bro, like colleagues, you are a mess. You got some serious problems. That's right, Carolyn. 34 years of marriage with Byron and Kristi Noem matters not. She over there with the Beverly Hills pimp, Corey Lewandowski, and he's over there online chatting with some. And you know what? Let's say this, and I'm gonna say something right now. Somebody might get offended, but don't nobody get offended. I'm just observing something here. I think the whole Kristi Noem thing is a result of her being in charge of their household. I'm reading now that he had all the household duties. Like he was the Mr. Marm kind of guy. The roles reversed. Gender roles are there for a reason. Roles are reversed. She runs the ship. He allows her to run the ship. And what do we have? Beverly Hills pimp and gigantic water balloon online chatting. That's what we got as a result of that. I'm not going to blame that on Kristi Noem. I'm blaming that on him because he allowed her to do it. And then he got himself in a situation. So it is what it is. All right. Hey, Reagan was the governor of California. That was the last of the Mohicans. Ronald Reagan was the last of the Mohicans in California. After Reagan, it was all downhill. They had the governor, Arnold. I mean, he was okay, I suppose. Matter of fact, to the Californians who listen to the sound of my voice, how was Arnold, how was he as a governor of California? Was he good, bad, somewhere in between? Did you vote for him once, twice? Let me know how the governor there was. I tell you what, I think that you guys would agree with me that having the governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger, as a governor of California is better than having Lord Gavin, Nancy Pelosi's nephew. It's better than having this pervert and Eric Swalwell. Okay, it's better than having him. Some are going to say that ABL, come on, man. These are just allegations, just like Brett Kavanaugh and Christine Blasey Ford, just like Trump and E. Jean Carroll, or whatever her name is. It's the same as that. The problem is Eric Swalwell was the main guy saying that the allegations against Trump must be true. The allegations against the allegations against Brett Kavanaugh must be true. Because how do you have 3 and 4 women who come against one guy and there's nothing there? He said that. So by his own words, he must be guilty of what he said they were guilty of. You can't escape that logic. You can't use it for somebody and then excuse yourself from that. If I say it's bad to do X thing, if anybody does it except for me, that's called being hypocritical. That is completely ridiculous. It's like, you guys probably seen that video. It was an African guy. He might have been in politics. He was like, corruption is only bad unless I'm involved. Then I defend it. Exactly. That is Eric Swalwell and quite a few of these politicos. It's bad when you do it. It's horrendous when you do it. When you do it, you should go to the penitentiary, big rocks, little rocks. It should send you away. It should deport you, send you to El Salvador. But when I do it, hey, it's totally fine. It, and we, let's wait for the evidence to come out. Let's wait for, there's a conspiracy. Nah, ain't no conspiracy. Let's not wait for evidence because you said we shouldn't do that. So I'm going to take you on your word. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. You vote for Mel Gibson? I would. Hey, is Mel running? Because if Mel was run for governor, I vote for Mel for sure for governor of California. Absolutely. I'd 100%. If I was a California resident and my options were Eric Swalwell, Katie Porter, or Mel Gibson, realistically, I would vote Mel Gibson. Now, I would like Chad Bianco or a conservative guy who is 100% on paper a Republican conservative and has voted a certain way and has lived a certain way. I would like for that person to be the governor. But realistically, if Mel Gibson was running as a Democrat, I'd vote for him. If I lived in California, which I don't, and shout out to me for not living out there. But you guys out there, hey, my heart goes out to you. Mr. Mighty Bright says only Mad Max can fix that place. You might be right about that. And it's really a shame. He did fart on TV. That's right, Nick Russo. He did fart on TV. Let it rip too, like ain't nothing happened. He let it rip and kept talking. It's like, bro, we heard that. We heard you actually fart on TV. Like, we're not going to just ignore that. But Eric Swalwell, to me, is like frat boy. And I kind of got that vibe about him a while ago. I thought they may try to elevate him to a higher level. And I'm right. But it's not going to work because his behavior is too childlike. The things that he does, how he behaves, is like he's 22 years old. He's like, I don't know. It's just really weird. Especially since you got children and you've been married for 10 years. It's really strange. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Now, Artemis II. I'm going to ask you guys, do you believe that we went to the moon or we did the moon trip, the little moon buzz by? I put up a lot of things from the Artemis II mission, and I'm seeing a lot of skepticism, a lot of laughing emojis. I can't believe you. People said, I unsubscribed, ABL. You believe in this fake stuff, the fake. I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there. It's pretty cool. Maybe there could be some deception going on, but I don't think so. I mean, it could be. I'm not necessarily one way or the other. As far as the first moon landing, I'm kind of in the middle. I'm not sure if we actually did that or if we didn't. But for this little buzz by, I don't know. I think it could have happened. I think that it's most likely that it did happen. Now, if it was a moon landing, that's something totally different. Flying by an object is different than landing on it and taking off from that object to come back home. That's way different. I think that kind of technology is not really around, and it wasn't around back when they said they first did it. To fly past something, I think we can do that. But what do you guys think? Do you think that was fake? Do you think it was real? Let me know. And they're back, of course. They did a little splashdown off the San Diego coast, on the left coast, California, and the Pacific Ocean, and they're back home now. Do you think they did that for real, or was it just an elaborate thing, a distraction? I'm not sure how it would be a distraction because when it first started to go down, when they first began the mission, I had no idea about it. I was that day years old when I realized they were doing a moon mission. I had no idea until they were launched in the air. Oh, they doing that? I had no idea. So if it's a distraction, it's not a very good one because I had no idea that it was going on until it actually happened. But what do you guys think? I think they did do the buzz by, but I'm not confident in a moon landing. So we'll see. Now, does the moon landing solve the economy problems? Well, the economic problems, it depends on what you mean. Like the economy, it depends on who you are if you're having economic issues. It depends on where you live. It depends on your perspective. I think one thing that can solve any kind of issues you may have is getting that Strait back opened up. That's going to be the key. That's going to be the key piece because if you're having a hard time economically, or if there are some issues economically that you see, One thing you could do is reduce the cost of gas, and reduce the cost of your energy. That'll help a whole lot. So yeah, the moon landing or the moon buzz by may not help with that, but opening that strait most certainly will. But we'll see if they can do it. We'll see what's happening with the mines or whatever. Oh, also, before I continue and get to the sponsors and whatnot in the videos, have you guys seen what's happening with Trump versus the, I guess, former MAGA people, the former MAGA influencers, your Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson and whatnot? Some think there is a civil war going on between this part of MAGA, that part of MAGA. There's not a civil war happening. There's a disagreement among influencers. I don't think that will impact the base of voters that much. I think the reach of influencers is overrated. Tucker Carlson has a low rating of favorability. It's plummeted with the general public. Why? Because you can't just call yourself an influencer and have whatever you say go. People got to like what you're saying. They have to identify you what you're saying. You can't just say, okay, I'm Candace Owens, I'm Tucker Carlson, I'm X, Y, and Z person, and because of my prior track record, because I got a big following, I'm going to keep that following even if I go a whole different direction. That's not the way it works. Tucker, you came in as a Christian guy, America first, Orange Man good. You came in as that. You built your base off that. And now you're going basically saying that you are basically a Muslim. You might as well say Allahu Akbar. That's kind of what I'm hearing. Your base who liked what you were saying before are generally not going to like your new direction. So there's not going to be a fraction of the actual base of people. It's going to be people that supported you previously that won't anymore because your message has changed. If you were a Christian guy supporting Trump and I identified with that, and now you're a Muslim guy supporting whatever, I don't identify with that. You're going to lose people from your audience. It won't be that Trump will lose his audience because you changed. Does it make any sense? Are you guys getting what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I'm at, really. Okay, somebody says being anti-war is anti-MAGA. Well, I'm not saying anything about the war. I'm talking about their opinion about President Trump. Okay, I regret voting for him. I'm not MAGA anymore. I'm not saying anything about the war. I'm saying it's about him specifically. Okay, that's the key here, because the war is one piece that they're upset about, but it's not just that. Tucker was talking about he's upset that Trump has said Allahu Akbar because, you know, in that whole thing about Iran, he was like, Allahu Akbar, open the effing strait. How dare you use the curse word on Easter Sunday? You're saying Allahu Akbar. How dare you mock Islam, Trump? How dare I mock Islam? I'm going to say Aloha Snap Bar. How about that? You see, people are going to identify with who they identify with, and that's that on that. You can't make them identify what they don't identify with. If they are a Muslim person and they identify with the Islam, then that's cool. If they don't, then it is what it is. Hey, Juicy Sam says, nah, I still watch Tucker all the time. His values have not changed. Tucker has never said he regrets voting for Trump. Well, I'm glad that you still watch him, but his favorability has plummeted a lot with his base. 54%, 7%. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do with that? My point behind talking about Tucker is to say that there's not a civil war among quote unquote MAGA. There's a disagreement among influencers, which may or may not impact, it probably won't impact the Republican voter base. Their values are going to be their values. They're not going to be swayed by influencers. They want influencers who they can relate to. So if you are into the Islam thing, you're into what Tucker's talking about or his values, he's there for you. If you're not into that, then he's not. And it's just that simple. There's someone for everybody. D-Check says, bro, MAGA is dead corpse. How? What are you basing that on? What an influencer says or does? What is the basis of your statement? I don't really know. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We got quite a bit of videos to get into, but first and foremost, shout out to the sponsor. Shout out to you guys, of course, for being the very first sponsor, they're being the very best sponsor on these interwebs. And shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing, I'm getting distracted by the chat. Patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the description, or visit patriotpost.us. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, please go to the merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, we got the t-shirts, the stickers, the hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com, ablmerch.com. Also, go to my regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTH1Y, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website, and on that front page, you'll be able to find articles for each long-form video that I produce. And in each article, I'll have sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the Democratic, Republican, politically agnostic, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. Also, go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. There you'll find my email address, my snail mail address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never gonna call it X, TikTok. All my links are right there on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. And as I always say, if you ever think you're conversing with me on these interwebs, you're probably not if you did not email me first and I respond, and the email is contact@anthonyblogan.com. And that, of course, will be on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. Now, somebody could contact you in the comments. Someone could contact you some other kind of way and say they're me. They could impersonate me. They could pretend to be me. But a few keys that will let you know that it's not me. First of all, it's not my email address. And second of all, if you get them on the phone, the voice ain't matching. Okay? He must like he's from India. He must like he's from Eastern Europe. Or it could be Lagos, Nigeria, somewhere. You have contacted ABL. I am on the phone right now. You have contacted me on my private number. Do not tell anyone about this connection because it's top secret. It is top secret. Don't tell anybody about this connection. A scam? I never a scammer. You're a racist. I never a scammer. Please don't get scammed by that guy that says he's not a scammer, because he's most certainly scamming you. I don't sound like that at all. Alrighty, but shout out to my Nigerian brothers watching me. I got a lot of you guys who tune in every week. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. Okay, not all you guys are scammers, but some of your cousins down the way do that for a living. Anyway, Eric Swalwell, let's start there and get it out the way quickly, because we got some new stuff that I have not shown you guys yet that came across my desk right now. We got to see. Here's the CNN clip, and we'll get into a new clip, exclusive new clip I have not shown on the YouTubes as of yet. Let's check it out.
Tonight, CNN with exclusive reporting about Congressman Eric Swalwell. The California Democrat has ascended in the governor's race there, and he's faced recent rumors on social media about sexual misconduct that he has denied. CNN's Pamela Brown and her team have spoken with 4 accusers, including a former staffer who went on camera to share her story. Pam, tell us what our investigative team have learned.
Well, John, we have spoken with 4 women who have various kinds of sexual misconduct claims against Congressman Swalwell, ranging from inappropriate messages and pictures to unwanted kissing and touching, and in one case, rape. From a woman we spoke to on camera in shadow to protect her identity due to fear of professional retaliation.
You know what? I've not seen that in a while. The shadow, hold on. When they go like that, I've not seen that in many years. Remember that back in the day, if you my age or a little bit older, that was like very common. That's the unsolved mysteries. Today we talked to a widow of a former, and then it's like, well, I don't want to come out and say anything. Or they had a little voice changer. I'm surprised they didn't do the voice changer, because that was what they did back in the day too, change the voice. Anyway, let's go back.
To protect her identity due to fear of professional retaliation. She is a former Swalwell staffer, and she says it began when she was 21 years old, There were two very serious sexual assault allegations she made, one in 2019 as a staffer and the other from 2024 when she had left his office. She also described inappropriate messages and nude images with the congressman using Snapchat with disappearing messages. Now, after the first incident, where she said she woke up in his hotel room as a staffer naked after a night of heavy drinking, she told us about what she says happened several years later in 2024 after she had left his office. I want to warn you, what you're about to hear is graphic and disturbing.
Now, like I said in my video today, some are going to say, well, look, ABL, how was there two separate incidents that were years apart? How was that considered to be assault? Well, let's ask Eric Swalwell to explain. That's what I'm saying. Eric Swalwell would say, let's have Trump explain. Let's have Kavanaugh explain. Let's have you explain. Why not? If it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. But I know it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. I know that, but I digress.
I decided to ask him to meet me for a drink. And I did this because I was so far removed from what had happened in 2019. I felt safe because I was established. I had a partner. I felt more secure that I could have a strictly professional relationship with this person. After that bar closed, we went to another. I went to the bathroom and I don't remember anything after that.
You don't remember anything?
I remember the next day. I can see flashes of that evening of him on top of me pushing him off, him grabbing me. It was a lot more aggressive. It was aggressive.
Did you say no?
Yes, I said no. In my flash that I can recall, I was pushing him off of me saying no.
And what did he do?
He didn't stop.
He didn't stop. And you woke up the next morning?
I woke up the next morning naked, alone in his hotel room. I, for a moment, didn't even know I was in his hotel room. That's how intoxicated I was. And I called my mom, the only person I could think that could help me.
And we were able to corroborate that by speaking with friends and family she confided in, reviewing photos and screenshots of contemporaneous text messages. And we also reviewed a message from her medical provider the week after she received the pregnancy and STD tests, calling her a, quote, survivor.
Now, this was in 2019, the first time in 2024, second time. Again, some are going to say, why two times, many years apart? Let's ask him that question. But there's more, because we got more news that just happened. I got some breaking news that just came out like probably about 3 hours ago. Not only did he allegedly assault these young ladies, 4 have come out so far, but there is at least a dozen who want to come out, and probably more than that who don't want to come out. But look at this, New York Post. Eric Swalwell paid illegal alien, yes, illegal alien, Brazilian live-in nanny under the table with campaign funds, complaint alleges. Illegal alien, live-in nanny, what's that called? A slave? Bro, 2020, you got slavery going on, bro? 2026, is that what we doing? Eric, come on now. What? Slavery? No, sir. So Democratic Rep Eric, allegedly he had a slave in the South. Democratic House Rep Eric Swalwell, frontrunner of California governor's race, has been accused of violating immigration and employment law to keep his illegal living Brazilian nanny in the country, according to a pair of recently filed complaints. Okay, a nanny, right? That's your nanny? Oh, okay. Eric, I know how you get down. A Brazilian nanny? All right, let's just you can call her whatever you want to call her. But I know what I'm looking at. If you want to be a passport, bro, just say that, man. Just say that and don't be in Congress while you do it. Wait till you retire to do all this. Why are you going to do all this right now? And if you want to be a passport, bro, why would you have the lady live with you illegally? Like, I don't really understand. You just kind of retarded. Anyway, her name, what's her name? Barbosa. Okay. When a South American babysitter's temporary work authorization was about to expire in 2022, and he and his wife, Brittany, lied to the feds to keep Amanda Barbosa working for them, a new complaint filed Tuesday with the Department of Homeland of Labor claimed, hey, So your wife was in on it. So your wife already knew what time it was with Miss Barbosa, with Amanda Barbosa. Your nanny? Okay. All right, Eric. Sir, really? Is that what we're doing? Okay, now let's keep on going. All right, I ain't gonna show his apology or his I'll show that right quick, and then we're gonna get to another video of him. Well, this is not his apology. This is just him talking about it. Believe me, trust me, for real.
Has been said about me today through anonymous allegations, and I thought it was important that you see and hear from me directly. These allegations of sexual assault are flat false. They are absolutely false. They did not happen. They have never happened, and I will fight them with everything that I have. They also come on the eve of an election where I have been the frontrunner candidate for governor in California. I do not suggest to you in any way that I'm perfect or that I'm a saint. I have certainly made mistakes in judgment in my past, but those mistakes are between me and my wife. And to her, I apologize deeply for putting her in this position. I also apologize to you if in any way you have doubted your support for me. But I think you know who I am. For over 20 years, I have served the public as a city councilman, as a member of Congress, and as a prosecutor who went to court on behalf of victims, particularly on behalf of sexual assault victims. That's who I am and have always been. This weekend, I'm going to spend time with my family and friends, and I appreciate those who have reached out to me to show support, and I look forward to updating you very soon.
All right, there we go. That's his address. So what do y'all think about what he said? Y'all buying it, not buying it? What's going on? Okay. So that's Eric Swalwell, Democratic House Rep, California, Democratic gubernatorial hopeful in California. He's leading the pack, allegedly, on the Democratic side of things. And now I think he's done. I think this is going to be the fork that's you pretty much toast at this particular point. Now, let's go to this right here. Now, if you got little kids, beware, okay? It's not super graphic, ain't nobody naked, but he gets a little bit freaky right here, just to let you know already. Now, allegedly, this is in his house. You see the sprinkler back there in the top? You see the sprinkler right there? Some say it was a hotel room, but the source said this is his house. And there's at least 4 people in the room, bare minimum, because you got him on the bed, the young lady right there with her phone. There's somebody's shoe right there. It's a guy with some jeans on right there. And there's somebody holding the camera. So it's at least 4 of them in the room. What are they all doing in there? I have no idea. But let's watch this right quick. Okay, no sound on the video. So Eric Swalwell, what's this, bro? Eric, who is that? That ain't your wife? So what's going on, bro? What's happening? And this looks like it's kind of recent. He got the whole, the 4-day beard he's been wearing lately. Before that, he's normally clean shaved. You get your 4-day beard. Looks kind of recent. Okay, your shoes are off. Your shirt's halfway off. Sir, what are we doing right here? I don't really understand. Okay, who's that? Now, the source, or what I read, it said it was a lady of the night, a professional lady. That's what they said. But I don't know if that's true or false. But what I do know is that it's not his wife. So what's happening? Oh, also, there's a joint statement put out by his senior staffers. Okay, so this is going to be TMZ. Eric Swalwell's staff deeply disturbed by allegations against him, but we can't all quit. Okay, so there's a statement right here. Let's see if I can put it up. As leaders of teams working for Eric Swalwell were horrified by the recent reporting in the San Francisco Chronicle and by CNN. We stand with our former colleague and other women who have come forward. We believe you should stand with them too, because one of the accusers was part of the staff at one point. The behavior detailed in these reports is abhorrent beneath the dignity of those serving in public office, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so you get what's going on here. They are condemning Eric Swalwell. That's his senior staffers. They put out a statement. Now, let's just show this. This is from 2024 on Kimmel.
The consequences for everyone else, like women in their bodies, kids in their safety at school, seniors in their healthcare, like to him, it's me, me, me. Democrats, sometimes we stand too much on virtue and like modesty, and we think everything is a Harvard Law School moot court competition. But we just need to talk about this like it's a gut check to the regular folks and not make this so complicated. Just be real.
You say a lot of nasty things about you on Fox News. I mean, they're your parents. Doesn't that upset them and make them go, I see that what they're saying is not true. I shouldn't believe anything else they say.
My mom told me recently that when she would hear Tucker Carlson or Sean Hannity go after me, she would change the channel. She's like, I don't like that, honey. That I think they went too far. So yeah, thanks, Mom.
Okay, that's that. Now, hold on.
Don't worry about it.
This is July 25. He accuses ICE of terrorizing women. ICE terrorizing women. What about Eric Swalwell terrorizing women? You know what? Let's just pause for a second. Now, I love a good pair of glasses, right? You guys know I've always worn glasses. I'm a glasses guy. I need them for real. If I don't have them, I can't see. But a guy that has a consistently, like a totally clear pair of glasses is a red flag. If you're wearing a clear pair of glasses, something's wrong with you as a man.
Don't wear masks in our community. You're terrorizing women. Real men don't terrorize women. Don't wear masks in our community. You're terrorizing women. Real men don't terrorize women.
Real men don't terrorize women. Okay. Again, Eric, your own words. It's your own words, not mine. I say if anybody accuses anyone of anything, there should be a certain level of evidence that's presented. You shouldn't just believe everybody. But you're saying certain things that are now used against you. So, hey, it is what it is. Oh, and the Manhattan DA is looking into him because now he might get locked up. Hey, I got a question. It might be a long shot, but I have a question. Do you guys think that Eric Swalwell will be locked up behind this? Is he going to go to the penitentiary, Big Rocks, Little Rocks? What do y'all think? If they locked up Puff Daddy for doing what he did, which was nothing really compared to what Eric Swalwell is accused of, then if Eric Swalwell is found guilty of assaulting someone, then surely he should go to the penitentiary. Puff did not get locked up for assault. He was locked up for the Mann Act violation, which is taking somebody across state lines to engage in prostitution. That's what he got locked up for. There was no other conviction other than that. Eric Swalwell was accused of actually sexually assaulting somebody. So if you are convicted on that, you should go to the penitentiary. The same as Puff Daddy, who was not convicted for that. It was actually a lesser crime that they got him on. But anyway, let's keep rocking and rolling. Let's keep rocking and rolling. Now, I want to hear from MSNBC, now known as MSNOW. I want to hear their reaction to this whole kerfuffle. That's what I want to hear. Oh, and speaking about Puff, Puff might get out. I'll get to that a little bit later. And when I get to it, it'll make sense why I say you should release Puff Daddy. Not for nothing else. I'm not a Puff Daddy fan. Just from a law perspective, if what they're saying is correct, then he should get out. Okay, let's go here.
The question is, will we start hearing calls from him to resign from Congress?
What have you heard from members of Congress?
I haven't heard that. We've heard from Democrats, again, scores of his closest allies who say he needs to drop out of the race, including Democratic leadership. Notably, they haven't called on him to resign. That statement last night from the top three members of Democratic leadership said we need an investigation, we need him to leave the race. It doesn't say resign. Right now, there are at least three Democrats who have called on him to resign outside of Capitol Hill, Tom Steyer and Katie Porter, two of his fiercest opponents in the race. And L.A. Mayor Karen Bass. So I think it's a question of, will we start hearing now from Democrats as this continues to unfold that he needs to leave Congress? And the pressure is going to mount on Capitol Hill. Jonathan, we were talking about this last night. The House returns to session on Tuesday after this 2-week recess. Lauren Boebert says she's going to introduce a resolution to censure Eric Swalwell. Anna Paulina Luna says she's bringing a motion to expel him. Now, will those have the votes? I don't know at this moment. But if that is forced on the floor and there has to be a vote on it, it's going to put Eric Swalwell's colleagues on the record, you're going to have to make a tough decision when they have to cast a vote.
Or not tough decision.
Or not a tough decision.
To me, having been through reporting many a scandal like this has the feel of a 1-2. Call on you to get out of the race, give you some time, and then calls to leave entirely. But these allegations are very, very serious.
All right, there we go. There goes MS-13 DNC, MS-NOW, formerly MSNBC. And speaking about Anna Paulina Luna, this is her right here. And shout out to her. Yeah, I like her a lot. She's a cool person. Shout out to her. I may not agree with her on everything, but I like Anna Paulina Luna. Let's hear from her.
So on Friday, I had my staff initiate the process and start the process to file motions for expulsions for multiple members of Congress, both Democrat and Republican. And I think even though Democrats and Republicans might have ideological differences, I think we should be able to all agree on the basics that maybe if you're, sexually harassing or assaulting or have issues of domestic violence or you're stealing funds from FEMA, maybe you should not be in Congress, right? Like maybe it's time for you to go home and figure those issues out, not on taxpayer dollars. So yes, I am going to be bringing forward the motion to expel Eric Swalwell next week. And I think that this is going to trigger other motions. And you know what? Bring it. It's time. This is way overdue. I think that this is just the bare minimum that we can deliver for the American people is not tolerate public corruption in the House of Representatives. This is not rocket science. This is basic 101. Most people go to jail over this. So it's time for these people to go. So yes, I'll be voting to expel members of Congress. And I hope my colleagues join me. We need 2/3 of the vote.
All right, there we go. So will he get expelled from Congress? And then, because, there's a lot of things that can happen to Eric. First, he can, drop out of the race or just lose the race in California to become the governor. But he's still in Congress. So would he get expelled from Congress? How's that going to work? How does that really, I don't really know. So we'll see. We'll see how that whole thing plays out. And again, that is Anna Paulina Luna, the Republican Democratic House rep from Florida. Now, let's go to outer space. A lot of you guys don't believe what happened with the Artemis II. You guys say it was fake. It was just, it was theater. Okay, it's political theater. It's space theater. There is no space. It's firmament. Now, this is going to be a view of the sunset from space. No sound, just a video. And then after we see the sunset from space, we're going to see the descent of the Artemis II capsule that got them back to the USA off the San Diego coast in the Pacific Ocean. So I'm gonna ask you guys, right? I got this video playing. Do y'all think the earth is flat? Are there any flat earthers in the house? If you are a flat earther, I'm not gonna judge you. Okay, I'm not gonna judge you, but the earth is not flat. I have my own views on the planet that are not mainstream. I think we have an expanding earth, and the great flood happened when the earth first broke apart at the rift, which you can see. That's beautiful right there. That is a beautiful sight to see. Imagine seeing that from up top like that. That is amazing. So yeah, do you guys think this is a real shot that we just saw? Hold on, can you see that one more time? Because that was great. Look at that. And as it goes back, you see in light, and then as it goes down, it is kind of like a TV turning off real slow. Look at that. That's amazing. That's an amazing sight to see up high like that in high Earth orbit or space, whatever you want to call it. That's amazing. Now what we got to see is it is an orb. That's right, Zealand is in. Earth is an orb. Now we're going to see the descent of the Artemis back down to Earth. Well, the Artemis capsule, because of course you got the rocket that takes off. It does the orbit around Earth. Then it goes around the moon. It comes back and they got to get dropped off in the capsule. This is how that looks. I'm sorry for the sound. There we go. It's a sped up video, and there goes the parachutes. And then boom, splashdown. There we go. There we have it. So, do y'all think you think it's a real video? Is it sped up? Is it AI? Y'all let me know what you think. Hollywood effects. You know, some people. I mean, look, I understand why you feel that way. I really do. I really understand why you feel that way. So here is the capsule afterward. So they brought it in off the coast. And we got our astronauts in the capsule right there. All righty. Now, here's a little bit from them upon their return, the Artemis II crew.
Victor, Christina, and Jeremy, we are bonded forever. And no one down here is ever going to know what the four of us just went through. And it was the most special thing that will ever happen in my life. And our families are over here. And with the exception of Dot, Susie, and Jeannie, who are in the audience, but I don't know where they are. But Dot, I'm going to hit McDonald's later today in honor of your husband. No one knows what the families went through, man. This was not easy. Being 200,000 plus miles away from home, like before you launch, it feels like it's the greatest dream on earth. And when you're out there, you just want to get back to your families and your friends. It's a special thing to be a human, and it's a special thing to be on planet Earth. Thank you.
All right, there we go. That's the Artemis II crew back home. So shout out to them. Definitely a great accomplishment. Now, whether it was real or not, we can have that debate, but definitely a great accomplishment. Now, of course, we have Mark Kelly speaking at Al Sharpton's National Action Network event, talking about the white astronauts not being a good thing for some reason. Of course, right? Of course, because why not? Mark Kelly would say something like that. Let's hear from him right quick.
When you're the commander, you get some say in who your other crew members are going to be. So the last thing I would want in a space shuttle crew would be 7 white guy, U.S. Navy test pilots like me. It would be a disaster. When you're the commander, you get...
Why would that be a disaster because of they white? Like their race shouldn't matter. I don't care what race they are. Are you good at what you do? Can you get the job done? Are you good at your job? That's all that really matters. All that race stuff don't even really matter. I couldn't care less. Like if I'm in the airplane and we got a pilot, okay, who can get me from point A to point B safely? I don't really care who you are. As long as you're good at what you do, that's all that really matters. But some of us are still hung up on race to the point where it's obsessive. It's ridiculous. Okay, now let's keep on going here. Okay, I'm going to talk briefly about the whole Trump versus the influencers kerfuffle, just briefly. I'm not going to read this entire wall of text. I'm not going to read that entire thing. But if you want to pause it at a certain point on a replay or whatever, but basically he was talking about Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones just getting in the way, their nut jobs, low IQ, troublemakers, kind of compared them to Rosie O'Donnell, a lot of stuff. But you can see he said all that right there. Now, what I read was that Laura Loomer, who for some reason is still around, sent Trump a bunch of clips from Tucker and whatnot where they were trashing Trump. So that inspired him to do this. That's what I'm reading. Because really, truthfully, Trump does not have time to be going back and forth with podcasters and YouTubers and whatnot. You're dealing with the Iran situation. Cuba's up next. You just did Venezuela. There's a whole lot. ICE is still, there's a whole lot going on to be trying to worry about podcasters. Okay. I don't expect President Trump to respond to ABL. I don't expect that at all. You got bigger fish to fry, not little old ABL or Candace or Tucker or anybody else. Okay. Now, let's get to what Candace said. Okay. Now, Candace, I know you watching, and shout out to you. I still like Candace. I don't agree with her for the most part on a lot of things, but I still like Candace. You got to stop with these faces you're making, because you're really a pretty girl, but these faces, you look ridiculous. You're looking like a whole monster in the face when you do that to your face. Okay. Anyway, let's check this out.
Do you understand that no one in MAGA, in true MAGA, cares about money above truth and protecting children? Did you,
Candace? Okay, I'm gonna start from the top. I'm sorry, I'm gonna interrupt her.
Do you understand that no one in MAGA, in true MAGA, cares about money above truth and protecting children? Did you connect that dot when we revolted against you saying, what about the Epstein files? That seems to be a theme with you. Protecting people who harm children. Why do you keep doing that? Why do you want people to be sued for standing up to that class? Do you understand?
Okay, that's one. We got one more. I ain't gonna play too much because I'm gonna tell you something right now, and I've already said it before. And don't nobody get offended. Don't nobody call me and hang up on, call me again and get it. Shout out to you for watching. It's okay, but don't nobody get offended. But I don't watch Candace at all. I'm not a girl. I don't watch. You know, that's like saying, hey, ABL, do you watch Sex and the City? Do you watch whatever kind of girl shows on Netflix? I don't watch none of that. I don't even watch TV. I do not. I'm the kind of guy, I'll watch construction videos, DIY videos, UFOs. I watch stuff like that. Ancient Egypt, Rome. I don't watch any girl talk type stuff. But here we are talking about this briefly. Okay. And again, Candace, the faces. If you see Candace in person, hot. I'm talking about fire truck hot. But these faces, it kind of just, you know, it don't really, you know what I mean? But anyway.
He couldn't even finish college. Are you aware that your base is comprised of blue collar workers who never went to college? Many who never so much wanted to go to college, never dreamed it. The farmers, the ranchers, the plumbers, the electricians, the people who work with their hands, you now stick your nose up to all of those people. Do you know who else didn't go to college? Charlie Kirk didn't go to college. Also, those men, many, I would say, a lot of the men and women that you and Pete Hegseth want to send to their deaths in the Middle East, many of them, probably most of them, didn't go to college. And let me be perfectly clear here when I say that each and every one of them is infinitely more smart and more capable than you and the people that you surround yourself with in this moment. He couldn't even finish college. Are you aware that your base?
Okay, there we go. So I'm not sure what that was in reference to, like not finishing college. Maybe I can read it right here. I don't really know what that was in reference to, but I mean, whatever. Whatever. Now, Megyn Kelly also had responded. Okay, and again, I don't watch her either because I'm not a girl. I don't know what y'all be watching on Netflix and stuff like this. Like, give me some girl shows on Netflix that y'all be watching. I have no idea. I've not seen Game of Thrones before. I've not seen any of that stuff. I don't know nothing about it. So give me some girl shows that I can relate this to. Charlie and Candace were not together romantically, but they were very close. But they were not romantic. I can tell you that right now.
Now, as you can imagine, that post did not go over well with the Iranians or with many Americans.
Now, that was in reference to the whole thing about Allahu Akbar, all of that, you know, open the effing straight. That was in reference to that. So Megyn, you know, her Hey, her response to that is this. That's hilarious. Hey, again with the faces.
Now, as you can imagine, that post did not go over well with the Iranians or with many Americans. I mean, I don't know about you, but I am sick of this shit. I'm sick of it. Can't he just behave like a normal human?
No.
I mean, honestly, like the president, 3D chess, shut up. Fucking shut up about that shit.
Okay, Megan, that's a little bit too much cussing. You got the potty mouth going on. I'm not a big fan of that. You know, Megan at one point, she was on my hot list at one point too, with Candace. But the potty mouth, it took it down a few notches, okay? It's like, I don't like that. We need you to be nice and classy on camera, okay, Megan? Okie dokie. Now, Nick Fuentes, am I really playing Nick Fuentes?
It's 2026 and Trump is saying MAGA means war with Iran, no Epstein files. MAGA means Mark Levin and Laura Loomer and Lindsey Graham are the best, and Tucker and Candace and Megyn Kelly and Alex Jones are the worst. It's just like, it's indefensible now. Fuck MAGA. It's dead. It's dead. MAGA is, I'll do it again for you. MAGA is dead. We are America first. This means nothing. Fuck this movement.
Okay, y'all cuss too much. Like I don't watch any of these people. I don't watch him. I don't watch them. I don't watch nothing. The cussing is way too much. You guys are promoting liberal stuff. You got a blue hat on. That's gonna be what you do, and no more red. So you want to go to the blue team? Oh, okay. Is that what we're doing with the blue tie? Come on, man. And this is like the great white hope. This boy still in his mom's basement at like 30 years old. He represents the white male loser. That's what he represents. That's Nick Fuentes. I'm gonna try to play a little bit more of him and then no more. And then I'll move on. I promise.
If MAGA means Lindsey Graham, Laura Loomer, Barry Weiss, and Netanyahu, and not Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, Alex Jones, and Tucker, then MAGA is garbage. It is a dead brand. No young person wants to be a part of this. Nobody is enthusiastic about it, and it is a joke. It's 20.
All right, there we go. That's your guy, Nick. So, hey, do you guys watch Nick? Any Nick Fuentes fans in the chat? I can't. He's like he's 5 years old, man. I can't get nothing from it. I can't get nothing from watching women talk a lot or little boys. It just ain't for me. But hey, if you like it, I love it. It's fine. Now, here's Tim Pool. Shout out to Tim Pool. I think Trump had called him to thank him. All right.
Donald Trump personally called me before he made this statement, thanking me for having his back and saying that I was a good friend. And I said, Mr. President, I will stand with you always, no matter what you do, even if you shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue. He laughed. Yeah. And we had a great time, and he's a good man.
All right, there we go. So my man Tim, shout out to Tim. Had me on the show last year. I appreciate you for that, Tim. Thank you. I've not been on anybody else's show that I showed, but I was on Tim Pool's show. So he's a great judge of character. I'll say that. I'm biased, but it's fine. Somebody says, what other things do I do? What you mean? Like for work or just in general? I'll tell you what I did today. I had to fix my tub floor. I had a Curtis drain. If you guys know, you know. I got a Curtis drain, and then it got stopped up. I had a plumbing emergency, so I had to fix that. I had to yank that up with some pliers because the screws were stripped. I had to get it up out of there. The screw extractor didn't really work. It worked a little bit, but not really. Had to get that up out of there. Had to kind of sand down some of the edges where I kind of messed up. So I like working with my hands and being outside, being in nature. I like going to the park. I like going to the beach. I like going to the mountains. Tomorrow, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to the park immediately in the morning. Now, let's get away from that. Hold on, one more from Erica. Do you guys like Erica Kirk? Charlie's wife? Do you guys like Erica? Let me know.
But it's freeing.
It is freeing.
It is freeing when you can say,
Oh, you said Tim was kidding? Is that what you think? I'm not sure he was.
But it's freeing.
It is freeing.
It is freeing when you can say, I pray for them, even though they hate me. I pray for them. Because it frees you from, like you said, Pastor James, that poison.
That's right.
And it frees you from that hold that they could have on your heart because you won't let them break you.
That's
You won't let the world break you.
Right. That's right.
And it's even personal for me. I have two children to raise. I have an organization to run. I have students counting on me to show up. And that is where my energy goes.
That's right.
Every single day, that's where my energy goes. And, you know, and Pastor James, you know this too, at a micro level, you know, we see it. We live in an attention economy where it's designed to keep people angry and it's designed to keep people divided and continuing to scroll and to get their clicks. And a solved problem on the internet or wherever does not drive engagement.
Okay, I've had enough. Ready to move on. But hey, shout out to Erica. I don't think that Erica should be in her position. I think she should be at home with the children. I think you should have Jack Posobiec be doing this. And I know Jack is a spook and kind of weird. It's okay. But I think he would be better at doing this than Erica. I don't like Erica in this role at all. From the beginning, I did not like her in this role, being the face and going out there and talking, and I don't like it. No. Don't like it. Let's move forward. Now, Puff Daddy might come home from the penitentiary.
Attorneys for Sean Diddy Combs today, they tried to convince a panel of judges that the convicted rapper should be released immediately because the judge that sentenced him relied on things that Combs was not convicted of.
The evidence and the arguments just reaffirms in this case that that the evidence that the judge was relying on is totally separate and, in fact, was acquitted conduct.
The thing is, though, up until last year, judges actually were allowed to consider what is known as acquitted conduct that you heard the defense there talk about. Remember, last year, a judge sentenced Combs to 4 years and 2 months in prison. That was after a jury convicted Combs of transporting people across state lines for prostitution. But the
Mann Act. That's all they got convicted on. When they first got him, they said they got drugs and guns and sexual assault. All they got was transporting somebody from across state lines for prostitution, which means that there was consent. So there was no assault. It was just the state lines thing, the Mann Act violation, which is the old Jim Crow law that's still in the books. That has been updated since Jim Crow, but the effect is still a Jim Crow law.
acquitted him of the most serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy. We don't know when the judges are going to make a decision on this appeal, but the defense wants it done as fast as possible because Diddy is set to be released from prison in April of 2028. Floyd Molas is joining us.
Now, it's kind of a long video, but the main thing that they're trying to say, their argument for the appeal, is that he was filming this stuff for his own personal consumption. It was like he was producing pornography. So if you got OnlyFans girls that can do that, and they go all over the world to do their stuff, if you have actual porn companies, you got all these agencies, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it's okay and it's legal, then why is he in prison for doing that exact same thing that they would do? You see? Because he filmed everything for his personal consumption. So if he was to sell it like Kim Kardashian and her tape with Ray J, would that be okay? Oh, okay. Anyway, let's keep going. I think they should release Puff because what he actually did is not really illegal because everybody does that. That's not really a crime. Okay. Now, speaking about trafficking and whatnot, we have yet another interpretive dance. That seems to be very popular. These young people are protesting Epstein and Trump. You ready? You ready for the interpretive dance? Let's check it out. Okay, thank you for those who were saying that Tim Pool was being sarcastic. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Heard you the first time. No, I'm just playing, but I did.
I have a tale to tell. Sometimes it
So the dancers wore blindfolds and leotards with different redacted passages released from the Epstein files printed on the front. I'll turn the music down a little bit. So the dance is inspired by the recent reporting by NPR that claims Justice Department withheld Epstein files related to Trump. It focused on allegations that Trump sexually abused a minor. The DOJ said the files had not been previously released because they were incorrectly determined to be duplicative of others. Now, I like to know, what are we accomplishing with this interpretive dance? Like, what is the actual end result here? What are we going to actually do? Epstein files. I think the Epstein files ain't that going to happen. Melania Trump coming out there talking about the Epstein files. I don't know why she did that. Because it's like, if nobody's been convicted yet, or if there aren't anybody, if there are still some that could be convicted, they're probably not going to be. It's already over with. Okay, we got some more. We got some more dance, and then I move on. I promise I will. Look, Faye, I got you. Don't worry about it. Hey, listen, I got Iran. Just sit back and relax. I got you. Just hang tight. Okay? I know how to do this. Just relax. Now, what are they protesting? I have no idea, but that's pretty much how they operate over there on that side with the mask and all that. Okay, where we going to go next? We're going to go right here. If you speak English, that might not really be, it might be a little bit ableist. It might be a little bit classist. It might be a little bit white supremacist if you speak English, because there's more ways to communicate than just that.
Language supremacy says that only spoken language is language. It's a byproduct of capitalist and colonial culture that tries to embolden only English and languages that are more from Western influences. Language justice shows us that all language is language. Body language, vocalization, stems are forms of language. It's up to us as a community and a society to learn languages in order to be fully inclusive and accessible for folks who communicate through body language and vocalizations, because it is a broad reach of how language is interpreted and spoken within each different individual. Different ways that arms are moved, that stems, the body language, vocalizations, eye movements, mouth movements, finger, toes, is all part of a language.
Okay, now I understand that there's more ways to communicate than just speaking a language, but it's important to master your own language because words matter. When I'm trying to tell somebody something and I'm not using the correct word, or I can't express myself properly to communicate what needs to be said, then there's some things that's lost in translation. And I don't want to be misunderstood. I don't want to grunt or stem or do something like that and think that someone gets it. No, I'm going to say the exact thing that I want to actually say. So yes, English is good. Hey, whatever language you speak, it could be English, French, Spanish, Chinese, Japanese, whatever it is, speak it well to communicate effectively. Now, maybe in the future we get telepathy or something like that going. I can just beam a thought straight to your mind and then to be crystal clear. But until that time, we got to be able to speak to get a message across clearly without any kind of confusion. Sign language, all of that too. You know what I mean? That's cool too. But if I do some incorrect sign language, el hombre negro, then the message is not conveyed. If this means something else other than what I'm trying to say, then now I got a problem. I could be trying to say, hey, pass the butter, but then I signed FU. See, now we got a fight going on when all I was trying to say was, can I please get the butter? You understand what I'm saying? But anyway, let's keep rocking and rolling here. speaking about being able to speak, speaking about understanding language, there are way too many children in the USA who are illiterate. Now, reading is very important because there are so many things you must read. You got to be able to not only understand what the words say, how to read the word, but also reading comprehension. It's one thing to be able to read words, see spot run, but do you know what see spot run means? Do you have recollection of what you read? Can you remember it? Do you internalize it? Did you learn it? Or did you just read it? Let's watch this.
So one thing I'm starting to notice is the more money we dump into programs, somehow the worse of the outcome. So it's like the money at this point is not the issue. So I'm looking into the school system and it says 2 out of 3 kids in America are unable to read with proficiency. 40% are non-readers. Okay? 420,000 students cost us $20.2 billion. This is for one school district in LAUSD. That's not even all of LA County, okay? So when you total it out, this comes to about $50,000 per student. We've now seen time and time again this lie that they sell us that, oh, if you just give us more money, we'll fix things and there'll be a better outcome. And we just know now that this is not true. This is why it's important to have a community and to build this parallel economy where we're not completely reliant on the government. American First Healthcare is a company that I support.
Okay, that's an ad right there. So shout out to her. But yeah, what you said in the beginning about kids not knowing how to read, that's right on point. That's 100% on point, and it's a bad thing because everything can't be tech. Because what happens a lot of times when the kids can't read, they're using their phones, they're using technology to compensate for that fact. But at a certain point, tech's not available. Okay, you have a contract in front of you. You're trying to buy a house, you're trying to rent an apartment, you're trying to apply for a job, or you're trying to do something that requires you to understand how to read and you can't do it. Why are we spending money on these kids who cannot read? $50,000 a student? Why spend that much if there's no actual literacy going on? I blame it on a few things. First of all, the parents don't care at all. Not all, but some parents do not care about their children. The kid could bring home straight Fs. They don't care. They're not even going to check. And the kids, a lot of times, they don't care either. If the parents and the kids don't care, then what are you going to do? The teacher can't really do much because she's working with a little bit. You're working with a little bit. And then the teacher, sometimes you got bad teachers as well who don't know what's going on. You got the blind leading the blind. But reading and reading comprehension is most certainly important. So shout out to the young lady right there. Okay, what's her name? Emily. Shout out to Emily. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling here. EBT. EBT has been restricted, and there's some things that you cannot really buy from the store anymore. Like a lot of your big bag snacks cannot be purchased with EBT, which is a good thing. We got a problem with obesity in the country, and leading cause of death, last time I checked, was heart disease, which is brought on by obesity. So why would we subsidize sickness in this country? We're going to subsidize sickness and then pay for the treatment. How about we reduce our expenditure on making people obese, fat, and unwell? At the same time, when we do that, we automatically reduce our medical expenditures. I mean, it's a common sense solution to me, but let's watch. He's mad about the EBT monies not being able to go to the big bag snacks anymore.
What's happening, y'all? All you can get to drink now with your food stamps is water. Not eligible. It's happening, y'all. It's happening. What am I gonna drink now? Not eligible. What is going on, man? What we're supposed to drink now? Not eligible. Not eligible. All they're giving us is water, guys. I'm at HEB right now, and you can't get nothing to drink besides water. What's going on, yo? What's happening, yo?
Hey, you know what? That is totally fine. It is totally fine because you're pointing to things that are just straight big bag stuff. Okay, we're talking about Gold Peak, which ain't nothing but sugar. Okay, and then what else? You're pointing to Sunny D, sugar again. Sugar. Minute Maid, Gold Peak, all of that is sugar. You didn't point to any kind of real, actual fruit juice, no Florida orange juice, no cranberry juice, none of those juices. You point straight to the sugar. So yeah, water, that's totally fine. You know, it was a certain point in time you couldn't just go get high fructose corn syrup in the bottle and just guzzle that for free. There was a certain time. And, you know, you can still buy it. It's not like you can't buy it if you want to buy it, but just use your own money. Use your own monies to purchase your big back snacks. No longer will the government subsidize your big back behavior. Simple as that. Okay. It's a great thing that you cannot buy stuff like that on EBT. Now, I was going to show this last time, but briefly, we're talking about health and stuff like this. Crumble cookie. Do you guys eat that? I have never had a crumble cookie before. I've seen them. Like, there's a one down the way, I think, a crumble cookie. I've not had one before in my life. Have you guys had them? And after you had a crumble cookie, how do you actually feel? Are your feet numb? Do you have any blood circulation? Do you pass out? Do you get the itis right away? Do you get diabetes immediately? What's going on? Let's watch.
Why do you hate crumble cookies?
Their cookies are not cookies. You would never be able to make this cookie 40 or 50 years ago. You need heavy machinery. You need propylene glycol in their cookies, artificial food dyes. Even beyond that, a lot of their cookies have 1,000 calories or more. That's an immense amount of calories to get in one little dessert. And if you're eating a couple crumble cookies, good luck burning that off.
Why do you hate?
Yeah, you can't. You can't. 1,000 calories for one cookie. Look. Y'all know me. I'm like the health guy. I could have an entire meal for one day. My entire meal for one day. Y'all know I'll do 1 meal a day. My entire one meal in the day is less than that or right around that for a whole meal. I'm talking about rice, chicken or steak or fish with vegetables. That whole thing would be between 1 and 1,200 on the high end. Probably lower than that, really, to be totally honest with you. A cookie, 1,000 calories? No way. Hey, and somebody would try to say, can I get that on EBT? No, you can't, actually. No, you cannot get that on EBT. Now, did you guys see this video over in Canada, the Great White North, where we get the longest LGBTQ elemental P acronym ever? I say LGBTQ elemental P X, Y, and Z as a joke, but I think this real acronym may actually be longer than my joke acronym. Check it out.
When the budget was released, I was shocked to find out that Prime Minister Carney is cutting $7 billion between Indigenous Services Canada and Crown Indigenous Relations. They provided $0 to deal with the ongoing genocide of MMIW G2S LGBTQIA+. This is abhorrent. This is callous. This is callous because the very Liberal government that has stripped organizations of life-sustaining funding.
Okay, now if you missed that, one more time.
They provided $0 to deal with the ongoing genocide of MMIW G2S LGBTQIA+.
That's a real acronym. So the acronym stands for, hold on, let me see if I can get it up on the screen right quick. Okay. So the acronym stands for Missing and Murder Indigenous Women, Girls, and Two-Spirit, Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, Queer, Questioning, Intersex, and Asexual plus People. There we go. MMIW. How do you even say that? Like, remember it. How can you remember all those letters and just say it like smoothly? Like, what are we talking about? Again, that's in Canada. That is an elected official, member of parliament right there. Hey, Canada, shout out to you guys. God bless you guys in Canada. I feel for you. If you have that kind of stuff happening in your particular country, I feel for you guys. I really do. Okay. Now, let's keep going here. Speaking about Canada, they're charging you a ransom to leave, $500,000. Is that correct? Is that real? Am I hearing the right thing? Or they want to charge you that. Let's watch some of this to get down to the bottom of it, or we can see what's happening.
So I'm about to pop off again because Canada is now thinking of fining people $500,000 if they want to leave Canada. What?
I got to pause just right quick. How are you going to fine me for leaving? I can't actually go and visit anywhere. So let's say, for example, I take a vacation. I go to the USA on vacation, and while I'm there, I apply for asylum, or I apply for citizenship, or, how do you know I'm actually leaving Canada? So must I apply for something? Okay, I ain't going to talk too much. Let me just let her talk.
That is a hostage situation, and the ransom is $500,000. Just listen to this.
Canadians have subsidized my education to the tune of, you pick the number, $500,000, right? 500,000. And if it's a graduate student, go, right? 30,000 TN go to the US every year. You want to save yourself $5 to $10 billion? Shut the TN program. And then keep them in, or make them pay their $500,000 so that if they leave. I'm okay with that.
Bruh. First of all, this loser doesn't even live in Canada and hasn't...
Hold on, let me go back. So basically, they're paying for your education. So we as Canadians subsidize my education. Okay, so they're paying for the education. So if you want to go somewhere else, you say, okay, just pay that back. How about you keep your money for education and I'll just leave? Y'all don't got to worry about me trying to pay you and all this kind of stuff. You're not going to hold me hostage with that. I'll just figure it out. I'll go get a job. I'll leave, become a U.S. citizen, get a student loan there, and then that'll be that. I don't need your socialism or your communism. And what that boils down to is, ultimately, communism is not free. Socialism is not free. And they want to keep you in the country to prevent the escape, a la North Korea. I don't want that. I like freedom. Same thing with Cuba. I think that they want to be free more than anything else, in my humble opinion. Now, Kamala Harris may run again in 2028. Do you guys want that? I do. I want her to run in 2028 because whoever's going to run against her would be an easy victory. Kamala, really, and truthfully, and hold on, before I say anything else, she didn't really run the first time. She was selected, not elected. Oh, she was on the ballot, ABL. She was on ticket. She was the vice president on the ticket, not the president. And then all of a sudden, she became the presidential nominee who no one voted for. But anyway, she been running again, and I want her to do it because if she runs, it'd be easy W for her opponent.
Your openness to talk to the American people, as I said in introducing you, you and I go back over a quarter century. Yes. And if there's anyone that has had open communication, is you and I. Mm-hmm. So are you going to run again in 28?
So, okay,
I tried to be subtle, but I just figured I'd go right
well,
at it.
That's as subtle as Reverend Al Sharpton could ever be. We love you for many things, but not being subtle. Listen, I might. I'm thinking about it.
You're open.
All right, so what do y'all think? Should she run again in 2028 or hang it up? I mean, whoever runs, really, to be totally honest with you, whoever runs, I think would be an easy W for the opponent because they don't have anybody over there on that side. There's somebody really that can do anything. And there is a black scent, yep, because she's over there with Reverend Al. And for you guys who don't know, Kamala Harris is not really an American. I mean, she is technically. She was born here and she lived here for a while in her childhood, but ultimately, Kamala was born to two immigrant parents, one from India and the other from Jamaica. And a Jamaican was not really black. Jamaica does not necessarily mean that you're black. Jamaica is a country just like the USA. There's a lot of black folks in Jamaica, but it's not all black. Anyway, her dad, biracial at best. her dad, Barack Obama at best, but really he looks to be more Indian than anything else. And her mom is straight Indian. So let's say, for example, let's say he's 50% Indian, 50% black, and her mom is 100% Indian. How does that make her black? Make that make sense. And she grew up primarily in Montreal, French Canada. How is that the equivalent of a black American? It's not. So the black scent is contrived the same way it is with Barack Hussein Obama, who grew up in Indonesia and Hawaii, did not come to continental USA until he got to be a full-grown adult. Anyway, let's keep on moving here. So Byron Noem, I know it says Bryon, but I'm going to ignore that. My brain sees Byron. Anyway, he was responsible for domestic chores and the child rearing. So let me just read some of this. He was at her service. Long before Kristi Noem's husband, Byron, was exposed as a cross-dresser with a penchant for wearing oversized fake boobs, like right there. He was responsible for most of the wifely duties in their home. The former South Dakota governor once wrote, "At our house, Byron completes many of our chores. I'm gone a lot, and he is left to handle all things related to the kids, ranch, and the house." So he allowed himself to be in that kind of subservient role, some would say. Maybe he embraced that a little bit too much, and now he wants to be, sissy boy or whatever, and he wanted to be transgender as well. He wanted to be the Bruce Jenner. That was his trajectory. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I'm trying to figure out why guys do this. Why guys go from being, big insurance exec or whatever he was to now I'm wearing big fake breasts like I'm Dolly Parton or Britney Spears. Okay, like that's kind of, I'm trying to figure out why he's doing that. Okay, maybe that was part of it.
Daily Mail.
Okay, now here's Bill Maher talking about Byron.
Daily Mail. They released audio of Brian Noem's dominatrix. Apparently, he was very much the confidant of this. This is who we really talked to a lot, this dominatrix. And he had been telling her that he very much wanted to do the surgery and get the hormones and become a woman. He is now leading in the polls for the Democratic nomination for Daily Mail.
Exactly. Now, I think if this whole thing did not get revealed, and you know what could happen? Hear me out. What could happen after this? He goes ahead and just does it. Just go ahead and do it, bro. Like, ain't no sense in wearing the, you know what I mean? Just go ahead and get the actual surgery and do that. And then you could be Bruce Jenner. You could be the next Fox News host. How about that? Why not? Why not? That might be in his future. Reality show, all that. Go ahead. Okay, now. This is going to be, hold on, I ain't going to play that. This is going to be, where are we going to go from here? Oh, speaking about that kind of stuff. So, in Minneapolis, they want to legalize bathhouses. Have you guys heard about this? So they want to have a place where you could just publicly do some really, freaky random activity publicly in a bathhouse in Minneapolis. A lot of the left praise Minneapolis as some kind of Shangri-La, a great place, a place that has really become very progressive. But do you guys want that kind of stuff in your backyard? A bathhouse? Where are we going, Minnesota? What's really happening?
After the George Floyd riots, after the anti-ICE mobs, we hoped that Minneapolis would start to clean up its act, but we didn't think they'd take it in this direction. After a 38-year ban, Minneapolis city leaders are considering, I can't even read this, considering legalizing places, this is a quote, where sexual activity between consenting adults may be facilitated. We're talking bathhouses, because apparently doing that in your own home is, I guess, now outdated. Well, these clubs, bathhouse club places, were shut down during the AIDS crisis, obviously for health reasons. But now activists say they need to come back, bring them back, because they believe sex clubs provide dignity and, quote, community safety. They even claim that it's about promoting modern public health strategies. Here to weigh in, Dustin Greggy.
Okay, so would you guys want that in your backyard? as you heard Laura Ingraham say, they got shut down during the whole AIDS crisis because we all know what was going on and how that virus spread so quickly. Hey, if they bring that back, you already know what time it's going to be. It's going to be some kind of brand new book that come out, a whole brand new thing. God don't like it, so it'll be a brand new. Okay, monkeypox, they had that, boom. And where is that at now? I've not heard monkeypox at all. Like, it came and went. It was a whole big thing, and they were trying to make it be like COVID, right? Oh, well, it might be the same thing. Go get your vaccination. Then they said, oh, it's the STD. It only affects gay men. And then they said, well, now we got children and dogs getting it. And the only way that they're getting this particular thing is if they're in gay male households. That's interesting. And then when that little tidbit of information came out, it totally just went away. It was no more monkeypox virus happening. But if they bring this back, there will be a brand new thing that came out, just like AIDS in the 80s and monkeypox a few years ago. Now, speaking about monkeypox and stuff like this, Hunter Biden wants to get into a cage match fight with Trump Jr., I believe, and Eric Trump.
Okay, guys, Hunter Biden here. I just got a call from Andrew Callahan. He asked me to come out on the Channel 5 Carnival Tour at the end of the month. I think we start in Phoenix, and then we go to San Diego, and we end in Albuquerque. And I think he's trying to organize a cage match, me versus Eric and Don Jr. I told him I'd do it, 100% in, if he can pull it off. And if he can't, I'm still coming. And I think he's got a lot of other surprises up his sleeve, a lot of fun. And I hope I can see you guys out there. You can get tickets online right now, and I'll see you out on tour.
Okay, so Hunter Biden, I don't want to see you at all. But a cage match. So would y'all want to see Hunter fight with Trump Jr. and Eric? I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. That's going to be a whole big mess. That's going to be a mess. Now, where are we going to go? Let's go to California right quick. This is right in front of somebody's store. This is like a storefront area. And because you got so much of this stuff going on, nobody wants to come down there. Okay, yeah, I wouldn't want to come down there either. If you got basically a trash heap in front of your stuff, you got this big fence, like barbed wire. You got barbed wire, trash. This looks like it's abandoned.
33 years, Adam Stauber has owned this building on Montague Street, a street that he says for the past 2 or so years has been overrun by broken down RVs.
Skid Row of the Valley.
Furniture, satellite dishes, and trash of all sorts now block the sidewalks. And Adam says the 4- and 2-legged inhabitants of the campers aren't always exactly friendly. Adam says one of his tenants, who is paying $80,000 a month for 60,000 square feet of space, is now leaving because their clients didn't enjoy coming here.
Why did you reach out to Channel 7? Because I've been reaching out to the council office for the past 2 years with no results. It's not only hurting me, it's hurting all the other businesses in the area.
We deal with a lot of aerospace companies, and their first questions, what's going on outside?
Andy Rado runs an electronic plating company on this street. Israel Gambert has a medical device company next door.
We service people with disabilities, so we have people, pull in, and it's not a very comforting experience.
And just take a look a few blocks down Montague Street when it hits San Fernando Road.
The homeless people have more rights than we do. If we park our car outside, we get cited. They don't get cited.
With utility cords now rerouted across the street and street lights rewired, rubbish and cooking fires are now what sometimes light up the street. This street is in Council District 7, represented by Monica Rodriguez.
We're actively doing more. So,
but there's feces in the street, though, that we saw.
We clean we send out additional cleaning services regularly.
The cleaning crew leaves, everything comes right back.
You know what? And somebody said it right there in the comments. That's Gavin Newsom's plan for the entirety of the USA. So if you don't want the whole of America to look like that, you don't want to get California Governor Gavin Newsom in office in 2028. That's the plan. They want us to kind of be like California. No, you don't want that to happen to you. Okay, now let's go here. We got more people living under the city in Los Angeles.
How are you? How are you? Yeah. You been good?
Yeah.
Todo bien?
Sí.
You still live here, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the spot right here. Can you show me it again? Otra vez? Uh-huh.
Pa abajo.
Pa abajo. Okay. This is how people living out here in LA, man. Yeah. My boy got the whole bridge to himself. You got the shower, right?
Yeah.
Shower? Mm-hmm. And then what else do you have here? You got your room over here, right?
Yeah, my room.
Oh, you have a bed now?
Yeah.
No way. Wow, una cámara y todo. What? This is sick. What? With your bears on there? Then what, you got your... What is this, the living room? The living room?
Yeah.
What? Hey, you upgraded since I saw you last.
Yeah.
Everything good?
Yeah.
Yeah? Are you working or anything now?
No.
No, not yet?
No, not yet.
Well, good to see you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I try to show people this is how people live, right? We gotta make a living out here sometimes.
I have life, but they barely came and cut the wire over there.
Oh, yeah? So you have to figure it out again.
Yeah.
Something else.
Yeah.
Yo, that's California living. Hey, you know what? And if you live in the hills, you got money, it's beautiful. But if you don't, hey, man, you might be in some hole in the ground, under a bridge, under a sewer, wherever you can do it. Okay, that's kind of what's going on now. Karen Bass, the mayor, says we're going to provide $36 million for homeless services. Now, here's my question. Where will this $300+ million go? Will it go to the non-governmental organizations, the NGOs, to just fatten their pockets, to friends and family, or will it go to actually helping guys like that who we saw up under the bridge? And can you actually spend money to help these people, or do they want to live like that because they have freedom? What's going on? Let's hear from Karen Bass about these monies that are going to be spent to combat homelessness. And also, one more question. How much cash has been spent on homelessness thus far over the past 10, 15, 20, 30 years in California? And has it helped? I read somewhere that it said 40% of homelessness has not been affected at all.
Today we're filling the gap when Social Security no longer covers the cost of a mortgage or rent. Today we are bringing help for caretakers with disabilities who struggle to make ends meet. And today we are investing in housing as part of our work to lower the cost of housing for everyone. Today we are preventing homelessness and increasing housing affordability with the release of $14 million in housing assistance and $300 million for housing.
This investment of $360 million is to build, preserve, and enhance affordable housing across Los Angeles. And I'm proud to share that 25 of those 80 projects are right here in CD14, representing more than 1,700 units of affordable housing.
Okay, so I'm going to check back on these guys in a few years and see if that has actually been accomplished. And we'll see what the update is. We shall see what the update is out there in LA. One more from LA. She says she feels like the city is dying. She's in LA and it feels dead.
Living in LA feels so weird right now because it feels like a city that's dying. Like half of everything seems closed or empty. Nothing feels busy anymore. So many apartments in my building are for rent that I don't remember it ever being this empty. Half of the buildings on my street are now for sale. I'm not even kidding you, half of them are for sale. Is that like kind of over?
All right, so what do y'all think? Have you been to LA recently? Do you live in LA? Does it feel like it's dead? Does it feel like it's not really a lot going on? People are just leaving? Maybe it depends on where you at, the part of the LA that you're in. If you're in a certain area, it might not be a lot going on. There might be a bigger and better area that they move to. in a place like that where it's a lot of sprawl and you could just kind of move and it's land, you could just go. People just kind of do that. They leave an area and go somewhere else. If you're living in New York City, it's not quite that way because it's, you know, especially like Manhattan, it's Manhattan. It ain't that much space. So you can't really expand unless you go somewhere else that's not Manhattan. But LA is a little bit different than that. Anyway, let's keep on going here. Oh, Afro Man talking about California is the most racist place in America. Now, before he gets into it, I'm going to ask y'all, do you think California is the most racist place in America or is it somewhere else? And if not California, then where would it be?
California, I believe it's the most racist place in America.
What are some of the ways you saw racism baked into California society that you didn't see in the South? Like maybe something that was more behind the scenes?
Okay, a racist cop in the South, he thought he was better than me. He didn't like me, but he'd still be polite. Good morning. You look like somebody we looking for. We just need to make sure you're not him. And we'll let you go. And I'm sorry for the inconvenience if you're not this guy. A California dude was more unapologetic and kind of happy. Even if I wasn't the guy, he was still kind of happy. He treated the N-word bad. You know what I'm saying? So California had more unapologetic racism. Mississippi had a traditional, understandable racism, but it wasn't. It's there, but it's not as rude.
Yeah. And also
it's a little more classier racism, you know.
Yeah, like Colonel Sanders style racism.
You know, like, don't start nothing, won't be nothing. You know, they feel how they feel, but, you know, everybody know what's up in the South. But LA is up for grabs. So everybody want to spray paint on the wall, claim their territory. You know, everybody want their own piece of paradise and they don't want to share it with, you know, another nationality or group or whatever. So if you think about LA is the most segregated city in Los Angeles, you know.
You mean in the state or the country?
I'm going to say in the country. Of course, you know, Mexicans outpopulate everybody. But there was a time when each race stayed somewhere in the city. The Mexicans had East LA, blacks had South Central, Washington, Compton. White people had West LA and Hollywood. They had the beaches, Santa Monica, you know, all that good stuff. It was a real segregated city. It's the most segregated city. 3 racial riots, probably even more, you know what I'm saying? Like, blah, blah.
So what do y'all think? Is it California the most racist place in America or somewhere else? Now, here's what I think, just from traveling and being in different parts of the country, I would say California probably is most racist. I would say California is most certainly the most racist place in the United States, from my point of view, from where I've been. I've been to California a few times. It's like in the South, they know black people more. So, for example, if I go to a place like Lululemon, and I look the way I look, dress the way I dress, they already know, oh, he ain't, you know, it's okay. He ain't going to be. But if I go in there looking like, Pooh Shiesty, one of these YNs, they could tell black folks apart from each other. The criminals and your regular citizens, they could tell us apart. And they're going to judge you based upon how you present. And that's if you black or white. If you are a white person looking like a meth monster in there, they will look at you differently than the white guy that looks like he's got something going on for himself. The working guy versus the straight up drug addict. In a place like Los Angeles, if you're a black person, you're a black person, period. Over there, they're not as understanding of the differences between black people. They might just see things on a color. If you're a dark-skinned person, you're dangerous. If you're light-skinned, you're like, okay. You're like kind of Hispanic and it's okay. But if you're a dark-skinned guy, you must be a criminal. Down south, they don't do that. From my experience. What do y'all think? Let me know. Let's keep rocking and rolling here. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Now, where are we going to go? Okay, Iran. So we're trying to negotiate with Iran, trying to get the Strait open. Here's what Trump had to say about it, and please pardon the plane noise.
We're going to see what happens. We're in very deep negotiations with Iran. We win regardless. We've defeated them militarily. They've dropped a couple of water mines. You call them water mines in the boat. We've defeated all of their water boats, too. Their Navy has gone 158 ships. They have 28 water droppers, mine droppers, they call them. All of them are sunk. They probably have a couple of mines in the water. We have mine sweepers out there. We're sweeping the Strait. In addition to that, we're negotiating whether we make a deal or not. Makes no difference to me. And the reason is because we've won. Whether you listen to the fake news or not, you know, it's amazing. Their credibility is down to 13%. The media credibility down to 13%. Think of it. We defeated their Navy. We defeated their Air Force. We defeated their anti-aircraft. We defeated their radar. We defeated their leaders. Their leaders are all dead. And now all we do is we'll open up the Strait even though we don't use it because we have a lot of other countries in the world that do use it that are either afraid or weak or cheap. I don't know what it is, but we were not helped by NATO, that I can tell you.
Yeah, that's one thing about it, because remember, Trump was asking the NATO allies, hey, y'all want to chip in on this? Y'all want to contribute some minesweepers or something? Or we don't want to get involved? All right. So now we got to do it. Okay, it's no problem. Don't worry about it. Now, some are going to say, well, the only reason why the Strait is closed is because of the U.S. Well, the reality is, if we didn't act in Iran and then Iran does something crazy over there, it would have been worse. So it's like you can't just kick the can down the road forever, because at a certain point, there's no more road to kick the can down. You got to do something. And that's what we did. Okay, now, here is a little bit more about the Strait of Hormuz, because it got the mines underwater. Yeah, I know you got the mines. If you try to have a boat go through there and the boat hits the mine, kaboom. Okay, so a little bit more about that right quick.
Force on the Strait of Hormuz, and we had not heard any reports of any ships, United States ships, going on the strait until now. U.S. CENTCOM writing that the USS Michael Murphy and the USS Frank E. Peterson are searching for any Iranian mines while trying to establish a clear and safe path. Underwater drones will also be used in the coming days. Now, the Strait of Hormuz is considered very treacherous right now, as the New York Times reports Iran may not be able to fully detect where the Iranian regime may have dropped mines. CENTCOM writing, today we begin the process of establishing a new passage, and we will share this safe pathway with the maritime industry soon to encourage the free flow of commerce. Now, since Tuesday's ceasefire, roughly more than a dozen ships have passed through the strait, but that's a fraction of the usual number. Iran's blockage has created multiple global problems, including a shortage of jet fuel. President Trump is even trying to attract empty tankers to the U.S., writing massive numbers of completely empty oil tankers, some of the largest anywhere in the world, are heading right now to the United States to load up with the best and sweetest oil and gas anywhere in the world. We have more oil than the next two largest oil economies combined, and higher quality. We are waiting for you. Quick turnaround. President Donald J. Trump. Now back here in the Middle East, Israel announced today that it struck more than 200 targets of what it claims are Hezbollah terror sites in southern Lebanon over the past day. And the Prime Minister of Lebanon was scheduled to travel to Washington for meetings next.
All right, there we go. So that's what's happening over there with the Strait. Hey, hopefully it gets back open, because although we have our own oil and gas over here, when you have the Strait closed, that's going to affect the global price. So when you go to that gas pump, it's going to be high until that Strait gets open. Okay, let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Now, where are we going to go here? Now, this person went to Jon Stewart's the studio where they shoot the show, the Daily Show in New York, talking about, hey, the war, it ain't the right thing. Stop parroting the war propaganda. This is going to be Code Pink. Okay, shout out to the Code Pink people. Y'all probably seen them a lot doing protests. I've not seen them do war protests. Maybe they've done that and I've not witnessed it, but here they are talking about the war protests.
So we're here delivering this petition signed by almost 3,000 activists, really appalled by what Jon Stewart did on his show.
Iran's answer is to just attack everybody.
Framed Iran as an irrational actor, like a drunk guy in a bar punching around.
He has been a pretty good anti-war voice, but we can't let him then be using the propaganda right now when truth matters so much, when it's so rare to find.
Regardless of if this was a joke or if it wasn't a joke, we need him to stop parroting wartime propaganda, stop parroting imperialist rhetoric, and educate his audience, which is huge, and he has so much power to do.
Let's not take jokes, John, and lead people astray. So we're calling on you to keep up the good work. War is never the answer.
We really want to urge Jon Stewart to listen to the thousands of names on this petition of people who were concerned about the rhetoric and propaganda that he was parroting. And
so do you guys agree with Code Pink that Jon Stewart should not be an apologist for the war? He shouldn't promote this anti-Iran propaganda. Do you guys agree with them or do you guys disagree with them? Y'all know Code Pink, these are like super lefty people and they do a lot of protests and just random stuff. They probably do like a lot of climate change stuff. The question is, do you agree with them or disagree? Y'all just let me know. Hey, no sense of humor, of course not. Nah, because they have their marching orders. They know what they got to do. So they're not going to try to observe jokes, recognize jokes. They're going to go out there and do what they're being told to do. That's it. That's all. But what do y'all think? Y'all on the same page with Code Pink or against them? Y'all let me know. Now, somebody was asking me, do I think that the mines are really in the water for the Strait of Hormuz? Yeah, I think they are, because that's been the issue for a while. Trump was trying to get minesweepers to clear those out for a while. So it's an issue. I'm not sure if anything has blown up yet. I know there's been strikes on boats in the water before the ceasefire. There's been strikes on the boats, but I'm not sure if any boat got blown up by an underwater mine. But if the U.S. thinks there's mines there and the Iranians say they are, then they probably are. Okay, let's keep rocking and rolling here. Let's keep going. Now, you guys may have seen Melania talk about Epstein and whatnot, and basically she cleared her name and says, hey, I'm not involved with Epstein. Y'all get off my back. Stop trying to say that I'm involved when I'm not involved. So she said that, but there's also people who are coming out and responding to what Melania said. This is, I think, a survivor, an Epstein survivor, talking about what Melania said.
Who else is sticking up for us? What else is being done? Pam Bondi, couldn't even look at us. Todd Blanche is saying, oh, there's no files here. There's nothing to look at, nothing to investigate. Nothing has worked for the last 9 months. This is the first person that I see that has some real power that's saying, here's a new idea.
Lisa, you were in your early 20s when you first met Jeffrey Epstein, endured years of abuse from him and others in his network. When you saw Melania Trump saying, I'm not a victim of Jeffrey Epstein, how did you feel?
Well, it's obvious if she says she wasn't a victim, maybe she wasn't a victim. I think the point of it was two things for her, was her trying to let the public know that you've got it all wrong about me, separating myself from my husband, who's the president, look at the facts. And she wasn't deposed for anything. There's nothing legal against her. I just think people need to separate the woman, the wife, from the husband.
Let's pause for a minute. Now, the allegation that was out there from people like James Carville was that Trump met Melania through Jeffrey Epstein. That was the allegation that people put out there. But Melania said that's not true. She met Trump at a party in 1998, and she didn't meet Epstein and was not in the same room with him until the year 2000. And the reason why she was around Epstein is because they were in the same social circle in Palm Beach in New York. That's all. So you go to a party, you're there, and Epstein is there, but you're not there because Epstein is there, and he's not there because you're there. That was what she was saying. And then there was the allegation of Epstein had Melania in a romantic way before Trump did, but that has not been corroborated. And even if it was true, why would that be something that needs to be talking about? Why would that be a thing that needs to be discussed? The past is the past. It will only matter if Epstein and Melania had something together before Trump. It will only matter if Melania was involved with some criminal activity. But beyond that, why would it matter? But again, Melania has denied all that, and there's no evidence to point toward that being true. But I digress.
I think that's really important.
What do you make of her calls for there to be a survivor-centred congressional hearing? Because other survivors of Jeffrey Epstein have said today that they don't want that they feel like she is putting the onus on them to testify and making them a convenient escape route.
I don't really know if that's true or not, and I understand what my survivor sisters are saying, but what I look at is the bigger picture. I would say I call her bluff and be like, okay, show us what you can do. What's next?
Would you like Melania Trump to get in touch with you, to get in touch with other survivors, and to find out your feelings and your thoughts about what would be the next step on the road to justice here?
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't that be the next step for her? Why would you make a statement like that and then not do anything? Mm-hmm. I'm just always like an optimist, first of all, but also like, what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. How can you make a statement like that without first saying, okay, I'm here for you, have the survivors reach out?
You felt that she was there in support of the survivors, as well as you say, clearing her own name.
Now, before she finishes, do you guys think that the Epstein files is a thing that needs to be completely addressed, that it's not been addressed properly, that's been kind of swept under the rug, kind of pushed to the side, been covered up? What do y'all think? Personally, I'm not really into the Epstein files thing that much. I feel like a lot of it is a distraction. And I feel like if anybody's going to get convicted from that, it would have already happened. There won't be any new convictions, in my humble opinion. But I could be wrong. I'm not always right. I'm right the majority of the time, but I'm not always right. Anyway, I'll let her finish.
That's what she portrayed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, I would think if you're going to stand by what you said, take the next step. What can we do to work together to, if you want to see justice or accountability, and so do all the survivors and the American people, what's the next step there?
Do you have any thoughts on the timing of this statement? Why she chose now when, it's not the number one issue agenda, on the news and in public discourse?
Well, we probably won't find that out for a couple more days or weeks, but I'm sure there's a reason why. I think everyone takes their time. I think everyone has a boiling point. Yeah. And it makes sense to me why she wouldn't have spoken out earlier. Mm-hmm. But I mean, there's a lot that has happened in the last 9 months.
All right, there we go. So that's what's happening. This was an Epstein survivor talking about Melania coming out and saying that she's not part of the Epstein file situation. She's not involved, but Congress should act to help the victims, to help the survivors. Okay. I'm going to play some of this from CBS about Melania, what she said, in case you guys didn't see it.
First Lady Melania Trump stepped up to a bank of cameras inside the White House today to address Jeffrey Epstein, a topic that may surprise you because it certainly surprised us. The First Lady rarely addresses the public, and today's address came without a typical heads up from the White House on the topic or the purpose. Jeffrey Epstein's crimes, of course, have dominated so much of the news this year, but had fallen out of the headlines. So why is Melania Trump putting it back into the national conversation? CBS News political correspondent Caitlin Huey-Burns joins us now with what the First Lady wanted us all to hear. Caitlin, good evening.
Good evening, Tony. Well, this really came out of left field, and it's not clear exactly what prompted this. Melania Trump tends to shy away from the spotlight, and she's never been a focal point of the Epstein files.
In a stunning, nearly 6-minute statement delivered from a podium at the White House, First Lady Melania Trump claimed those linking her to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein were trying to smear her good name.
The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today.
Like I said in my video about Melania and the whole Epstein kerfuffle, this kind of reminds me of not Ghislaine Maxwell. It reminds me of Brigitte Macron, Emmanuel Macron's wife, because Candace has been talking about Brigitte being a man. She's not said that recently. I wonder why. But anyway, Candace was saying that Brigitte was born a man, and Brigitte got really offended by this, and it got so big that there was a lawsuit from them to Candace. ever since that, I've not heard much from Candace about the situation. This may be the same thing because Melania is hearing things behind the scenes about her and Epstein, all this, that, and the third. So she wants to clear her name. That's what this seems like. But also, in clearing her name, she wants to come out and help some of the alleged victims.
The individuals lying about me are devoid of ethical standards, humility, and respect.
The First Lady said she was never friends with Epstein or his co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell, despite photographs showing them together.
What that mean? Anybody could be in the picture. I've taken quite a few pictures with people I don't even know. Like if you were to ask me, hey, ABL, is this you? Look at this photograph. Is that you in the picture? Yeah, that's me. Who's the next to you? I don't know. I have no idea who it is in the picture with me. Now, of course, she would know who Epstein is and Ghislaine, but that does not mean that they were friends.
Donald and I were invited to the same parties as Epstein from time to time.
Though she acknowledged she did communicate with Maxwell in this 2002 email, which was released in a trove of files by the Justice Department, she wrote, "How was Palm Beach? I cannot wait to go down. Give me a call when you're back in New York."
My email reply to Maxwell cannot be categorized as anything more than casual correspondence.
The First Lady also refuted any claims that Epstein introduced her to her husband.
I am not Epstein's victim. Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump. I met my husband by chance at a New York City party in 1998.
There we go. So I think you're right, Zealand Zen. Zealand Zen says the Trumps want to put the rumors to rest. Exactly. Put all the rumors to rest. It's not a thing, and let's move forward. I think that is the ultimate purpose of her coming out there. And I think she wanted to put the rumors to rest herself because it was her. It was not Trump with her. It was not Trump by himself. It was her by herself. So shout out to Melania. And she doesn't speak much. She does not speak much, which is that's a great thing because that's not her role to be a spokesperson or anything like that. Now, someone who should take that advice about not being a spokesperson is Gavin Newsom's wife. Okay. I want to show this because it's important. I showed a little bit about her before, talking about, boys shouldn't be right wing or whatever. I'm going to play this just as a little bit of a reference. And then I'm going to get into some reaction to what she said about boys shouldn't be right wing. Check it out.
I think that we as a society should have no problem giving boys dolls and things to care for. I mean, I think that there should, truthfully, I think it's just ridiculous that we only give our girls dolls. We have to help all of the young boys in our lives stay true to who they are, not repress their emotions, not deny their feminine traits. So I bought him a doll. And it was a really funky looking doll, by the way. I'm kind of upset with the manufacturers. The boy dolls are really scary looking. They are. The girl dolls are very pretty, and the boy dolls have like crazy hair and these beady eyes, and I don't know what's going on there with the manufacturers. But I got him a doll, and this is true, and he did bite its hand off. But I did it because I wanted him to learn that that it's a human character, it's a human trait to care for other beings.
All right, so what do y'all think? Is Gavin Newsom's wife correct that you should give your boy children dolls to play with, like baby dolls, like the girls? I don't agree. Obviously, you should not be giving boys girl type toys. No. You shouldn't be doing that because what you're doing, you're trying to encourage them to do things that are confusing. And that will just, that'll foster confusion, which is the root of the sexuality issues that we got going on. It's confusion. People don't know. Somebody gets touched inappropriately early and they feel a certain thing and now they're confused. They don't know what's going on. Okay, with the dolls, it's like some of the same thing as confusion. It's not a natural thing to give a boy a baby doll. You're trying to confuse them on purpose to create gender dysphoria early. And last time I checked, or last time previously, in the better time in America, gender dysphoria was a mental illness, and it still is, although not classified as that now. It still is mental illness. Now I'm gonna show a reaction or two to that, and then I'm gonna keep on rocking and rolling here. And if you like what you're hearing so far, I know what to do. Get a video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. What's that on their head, Matt? Hey, that's that Princess Leia on top of their head, not on the back, right on the top. Okay, that's a straight donut on top. That's a straight that's a rice ball on top. Anyway, so this is a great headline. Hopefully, it's a great video. The alt-right pipeline starts in anti-male progressive homes. Kind of like Gavin Newsom giving no boys a baby doll to play with. And then they're like, oh, why do they like Andrew Tate? Why do they like Charlie Kirk? Well, somebody got to be the man in the house. It ain't going to be Gavin Newsom. It ain't going to be the wife. So who is it going to be? Anyway, let's watch.
Can someone tell me why Jennifer Newsom seems confused that her boys ended up as right-wingers when she literally raised them, changing the male protagonists in storybooks to females and giving them dolls? This effort to dismantle the boys will be boys narrative had progressive moms like Jennifer Newsom in a chokehold to the point that their sons grew up feeling unseen. Boys will be boys, and if you raise them to be little women in male bodies, they're going to grow up being attracted to figures like Andrew Tate who tell them there's nothing wrong with being a man. In the clips that are resurfacing, she is calling for tech companies to be regulated by the government to remove some of these alt-right rabbit holes. I'm sorry, the call is coming from inside the house. Maybe the values you raised them with were not coherent and were not uplifting, they were not empowering, and so they had to go seek something outside of those values. The same thing happens in really toxic right-wing families. The kids grow up and deconstruct their faith, deconstruct the narratives they grew up with, and end up like raging leftists. Anyways, this is all to say, choose wisely who you decide to raise kids with.
That was so well said. I don't know her name, but that was very well said. Now listen,
someone tell me.
Let's start from the top. She hit a nail square on the head. I'm talking about building the house. You just did boom, boom, boom. You don't need no nail gun. Hammer on nail every time. She said it. It's creating the confusion. That's the main thing. It's not coherent. It's confusing. So they're going to go try to find somebody who is not confusing, who is coherent, who makes sense to them and their innate male self. Playing with baby dolls and trying to dismantle maleness, that's not a natural thing for boys to do. So they're going to go try to find an alternative. And to be fair, although I'm a conservative guy, when you're too far to the right, when it's too much, when it's church every single day, when it's just all of that going on and it's just excessive, that can cause them to be the blue-haired radical. I see it all the time. A lot of the blue, green, purple, X, Y, and Z hair radical, acting crazy, acting the fool, going out there, gluing their hands to the ground in protest of climate change, which they can't change at all by, bonding themselves to the road. They often come from households that were super, super strict, way too strict, with no freedom. You got to have a little bit of a balance. Give your children guidelines, give them rules, give them structure, give them boundaries, but don't be too far into the authoritarianism and don't be too far into the absurdity of confusion and LGBT. Try to hit that sweet spot best you can. Try to be a regular person. That's probably, hey, balance is cool, but try being a regular person that has common sense. And in today's day and age, 2026, those with common sense, the regular people, are on the right. Simple as that. So yeah, very well said. I don't know who she is, but that was very well said. Shout out to her. Absolutely. Okay. Now, did I get everything? I think I did. I have one more, but I'll save this one. I have one more, but I'm going to save it because that's a really good one. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. I'm going to super chats right here, and then I'm going to get to the calls. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. Now, Carolyn, if your daughter had taco trucks, my question would be, Were you trying to make her like it, or was it just a thing that she picked up? Maybe her brother had a Tonka truck and she started playing with it. That's one thing. But if it's like you're making your children do a thing that's against what they normally would do, it's like, what's going on? If you got a boy, he's aggressive. He's like playing in dirt, rolling around. Like, I was a kind of kid, I would roll downstairs for fun. Like, literally, roll down the stairs for fun. Like, I was a nut. You wouldn't give a kid like me a baby doll to play with. Okay? My little cousins had baby dolls. They'd be like it was their baby. They came around like that and braiding their hair. I never did any of that. It didn't make any sense to me. So if my mother or my father were trying to make me do what my little cousins were doing, my female cousins were doing, I'd be like, what's this? I ain't trying to braid no hair. I ain't trying to change baby doll diaper. What am I want to roll down these stairs. I want to go outside and just do that. That's what I want to do. Anyway, let's keep on going. Super chats on deck. Then I'm going to get to the calls. Thank you, Tellingly Fitness, who says Trump's out there doing what I hired him to do. All these influencers, it's all just noise. Either get on board or get out the way. I am 100% on the same page with you. Shout out to you, Tellingly Fitness. Thank you to Apple Barker, All Puff Daddy, who says Anthony Brown Logan, President Trump should pardon Swalwell. In exchange, Swalwell tells truth of 2020 vote, J6, White House chef, Butler, Pennsylvania, and the laptops. Hey, you know what? That'd be a sweet deal. Hey, if you listen to Eric Swalwell, how about it? You want to take that deal? Hey, we'll give you a full pardon. But before we do that, you got to go before Congress and spill all the beans. How about it? Anyway, shout out to Apu again, who says, opinion on Artemis II worth the money, NASA good. Now, to expand on what I was saying earlier in the show, Artemis II, I'm not quite sure if it's worth the money. I don't know what we really got from that. I'm not really super knowledgeable about the subject. I think this was a test run to do the moon landing. If the point is to get a moon base, okay, but why have a moon base? I need to know more about it to say whether or not it's worth it or not. But that's a good question. Thank you for the question. Thank you for the super chat as well. Apple also says, Slick Willie abandoned Black Hawk Down in Somalia. Obama abandoned Extortion 17. Hillary abandoned Benghazi 4. Sleepy Joe abandoned 13 at the Abbey Gate in Kabul, Afghanistan. Trump rescues. Well, we sure did. Sure did. Okay. No one left behind. Sure did. Thank you to Rosita for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to Martin Muhammad, who says, greetings, ABL. This is my second live stream. Great thumbnail. What you know about that hand gesture, or were you just signifying the universal signs for call me or hang loose? I was just doing the hang loose. That's like just something I do. Now, if it means anything else, I don't know. For me, it's only, give me a call. And I'm old. That means give me a call. The kids nowadays, they go like that. Because kids nowadays, they didn't have a phone like we had with the receiver you hung up on, or like the rotary or the old house phone. They had just this. So when they say give me a call, they go like that. We do this. If you old like me. But anyway, yeah, just hang loose. That's all I know. But beyond that, I have no idea. Thank you to Not Provided, who says, ABL, what do you think of modern architecture using multiple private, single toilet, family style, lockable lavatories, vacant, occupied sign, clean regularly instead of shared, gender segregated ones? That's a good question. I think that it's, I don't know, multiple ones where it's like an individual door. I think it makes sense. It could be kind of expensive because, okay, normally when you go into a place that's a lot of let's say you go to like a Buc-ee's, for example. In Buc-ee's, they have individual toilets with an individual door on it, but it's in a room. So, okay, can I just show the Buc-ee's bathroom right quick so I can just explain it better that way? Hold on. Because I know what you're talking about. Like having just an individual, like having like individual door, small doors. You go in there, boom, 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 boom. I get it. But then You got to worry about where you're washing your hands, where's the trash going to be, all of that kind of stuff. But I get what you're saying. But let's just show what I'm talking about right here so you kind of get the gist of what I'm referring to. Okay. Can I get a good picture, or is that not possible? Okay. This will do. This will do. Okay. So I got to kind of explain it as I show it. Now, what you have here, what you're looking at, is one big room. In the center of the room, you have the hand washing stations. And, you know, the towels and the hand sanitizer and the trash, all of that to wash your hands, the sinks in the center. Now, around the room, you have individual doors. You see the doors? Individual doors where you could go hit number 2, number 1, whatever you want to do. They got a hook on the door, like an airport bathroom, kind of like that. On the other side, you got urinals. You see what I'm saying? So you got one side where it's the doors, and then there's one part where it's urinals, like an airport bathroom. So for that, it makes sense because you got all your water running right there. But if it's going to be a bunch of individual doors, I don't know how it's really going to work. If you got a restaurant, it could be doable. You can have like 5 or 6 individual bathrooms. But if you're going to have like 100 bathrooms, you got to have one big room to make it make sense. But yeah, a pro tip to all my travelers, to everybody who drives, if you want to actually stop at a great gas station to use a bathroom, get something to eat, go to Buc-ee's. I'm telling you right now, whenever I drive and travel, like let's say, for example, number 3, you funny. When I go to West Virginia, and I go up 75 through Kentucky, like through Tennessee, through Kentucky, and then 64 across through Huntington and all of that, I stop in Richmond, Kentucky at that Buc-ee's. It's perfect. 3 hours in, 3 hours to my next destination. I use the bathroom. I'm hitting number 2 in there. I'm comfy. Then when I come out, washing my hands, great hand washing station. Then I'm going to go outside, get me a nice sandwich, a drink, a few snacks, and then I'm good money. Buc-ee's all day long. Anyway, that was not an ad, but I had to get it off my chest. Let's keep going. Thank you to J-Man for gifting not 1, but 2 ABL memberships. Appreciate you for that. Thank you to Twisted Clown who says ABL LA is infected with years of liberal policy. I agree with you. Thank you to the White Man who says, love the show, ABL. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Thank you to the White Man again, who gifted not 1, not 2, not 3, but 5 ABL memberships. Thank you for that, boss. Appreciate you. And thank you to Ron Henderson who says, boys need trucks, not dolls. Exactly. Exactamundo. All righty. Let's get to some calls here. The number to call, again, 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287 is the number to call. And shout out to you guys again. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling with me. Yes, the great Buc-ee's workers, and they pay very well. They pay their employees very well. Hey, they're paying their employees well because of ABL. Whenever I go in there, I'm going to spend some money. And it's cool because I feel good about spending money there because it's so nice. It's so well kept. The food is good. They got nice little knickknacks and little chintzy items. I feel good about spending money there. I don't feel gypped or robbed or anything like that. I feel good about giving them some monies because they earned it. They most certainly did. And of course, they got the gas pumps, and they got sometimes car washes, which is great. If you on the road, you're going to have a windshield full of bugs, the front grill full of bugs, go through the windshield, go through not the windshield, go through the car wash, and you good. Back on the road, right back at it. All right. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. Excuse me. How they do? On the board. That's how they get amped up when you go in there. I don't know. Some people don't like Buc-ee's. They say it's overrated, but I don't know, man. I really enjoy Buc-ee's as a place to stop on the road specifically. Either there or a real restaurant. But a restaurant, the bathrooms ain't going to be as kept as a Buc-ee's because in a restaurant, being a former restaurant guy, when you go to a restaurant, the bathrooms are what they are. I mean, it's going to be a guy like me. Okay, once I get done washing dishes, I got to go back and clean the bathroom. If somebody have a mistake back there or something goes wrong, hey, man, it might be a while. But they got dedicated people that are going to be tending to the bathrooms specifically. They got a little cart. It's like having hotel maintenance in your actual gas station. Racetrack could never. Quick Trip could never. Getty Mart could never. And I love all those places, but not to really be stopping if I could stop at a Buc-ee's instead. And they got a new one coming in Georgia. They got 2 or 3 in Georgia. They got one near Savannah. They got one up close to me, like Adairsville, Calhoun. And they got one by what's that, Perry or Macon, whatever that is. Yeah, they got one out there. Warner Robins, yeah, they got one out there. And they're going to build another one in that same kind of area. But they should build one down by Valdosta, South Georgia. That'd be perfect. So if you're going down 75, before you go hit that split on 10 to Tally or Jacksonville, Buc-ee's right there to be perfect. Okay, but see, Pennsylvania, that's Wawaville. So they probably don't want that competition up there. That's probably people that are lobbying to not have Buc-ee's up there because that's Wawaville in Pennsylvania. Okay, let's go to 215. If you don't lie, who am I speaking to?
Oh, ABL. Wow, I just called and already I get in.
Yes, sir. What's happening?
So basically, I believe last time I called, we talked about what's his name, Offset.
Yes.
And Offset. So basically, I don't know how true it is, but I heard that basically they said he's right back at the casino after getting shot and after being out of the hospital.
Oh yeah. But you know what? He is a degenerate gambler. Some guys, they're going to gamble until they die. I mean, even getting shot is not necessarily a deterrent. They're still going to be out there gambling. Yes, he was right back in the casino after getting shot at the casino.
Wow. It's like, yeah, I'm like, in my mind, I'm talking about just being down bad at that point. To the point where you, after getting shot, the thing that got you in trouble, you're right back in there.
Yeah, I mean, but see, that's that addiction. It's like somebody being hooked on drugs. It's like, okay, you have an overdose or almost die, but you're right back on the drugs again the very next day because you can't stop. You're just addicted to the drugs.
Yeah. But it's basically like those people with drugs, it's either going to kill you or you got to really hit rock bottom to the point where you're like ready to get help. And you got to have the willpower and the support system so that you want to change and get better.
That's right. You got to have that willpower to want to do better, to want to be better. And if you don't, you're not even gonna. You don't even really care.
That iPhone charger?
No, you're still gonna do your thing. And rock bottom for you or
it's mine.
Somebody. You good?
No, it's not gonna work. Sorry, somebody else is here. But I'm listening to you, ABL. Go ahead.
Yeah, so rock bottom, basically, that might be somebody being dead.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. All right, well, thanks for taking my call, ABL.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
All right, you have a good night.
All right, same to you. All right, we're going to talk for no crosstalk, bro. You know, I'm hearing, you know what I mean? Hey, tell them to get on the call. But no, shout out to you, bro. Thank you for the call. I appreciate you for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, speaking about buckets, they got one in Crossville. I got to go there, Crossville, Tennessee. Hey, Tennessee, we got the best thing going. We one of the hottest states right now in Tennessee. I'm glad I moved here back in 2017. This was a great decision for me. No state income tax, low cost of living, a booming economy, a lot of things happening. I'll tell you one thing. If there is an issue with the economy, wherever you live at, I suggest relocation if possible. If possible. Okay, I live in the place where I was not born and I did not grow up, and I love it. Virginia is cool. I would go back to visit, but you got Spam Burger in there, Abigail Spam Burger in there, stinking the joint up. Okay, RIP in theory to, what's my man's name before? The previous governor. I can see his name. I can see his face. I can't remember his name. You know what I'm talking about. The previous guy, the Republican, who I thought had no chance. RIP in theory to him, not literally. But Spam Burger sucks so bad. She's so bad. I feel for you guys still in Virginia having to deal with that lady because she's a mess. But the number to call is 706-406-3287. That's right, Ryan. Do not California my Georgia. Don't California my Georgia, because that's not what we want to do in this year of our Lord 2026. Georgia is also a place to be. Atlanta is really, really booming. Really booming. The World Cup is coming, what? Like soon, ain't it? Hold on. When's the World Cup? World Cup is, okay, July. Yeah, from June to July. So you'll see the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Oh my goodness. That stadium is a work of art. It is a beauty. You guys are going to see it live and in color and full HD 4K in the summertime. You got a whole lot going on here in the South. This is like the hottest part of the country. The country, as Trump said, it is hot, but the South is the hottest part of the country. There are some parts where there's not so hot. California, West Coast, not so hot. New York City, New York State, not so hot. Florida, hot. Tennessee, Georgia, hot. Alabama, Mississippi, hot. Alabama for sure, definitely hot. Mississippi might be hot too. Where else is hot right now? Texas is hot. Fire truck hot. But yeah, California, I think it peaked and now it's on a decline, unfortunately. Will Iran be in the World Cup? I don't think so. But that's a good question, though. Would it be in the World Cup? I couldn't imagine they would be. Hold on. Iran World Cup 2026. Oh, they are going to be in the World Cup. Oh, okay. Oh, no. Okay, so they're supposed to be, but they're not going to be. So, okay. Oh, it's questionable. It says questionable. So it might not be. This is from today. Article from today. It says, Iran makes definitive boycott United States FIFA World Cup decision. Okay. So they don't want to play in the USA, but they do want to be in the World Cup in general, but they don't want to be in the USA. Oh, okay. Well, if you don't want to come to the USA, then you're not going to be in the World Cup because some of it is in the USA. And you know what? That's fine because they got to come to Atlanta. That's fine. They don't got to come to ATL. Yeah, they can stay wherever they at. Yeah, Florida, hey, it's a lot of Florida people up in that moved away because Florida is becoming so crowded. Because everybody wants to go to Florida. Florida is super hot. And Florida is kind of like getting to the point of peaking as well because it's only so many humans you can actually bring to Florida without being totally just crowded in a ridiculous way. So I think ultimately a lot of you guys in Florida are going to come to Georgia. A lot of y'all be in Georgia. I see y'all dropping all the time. Crazy as crazy can be, but not you though. I see a lot of y'all in Tennessee. Yeah, a lot of Floridians have kind of gone to nearby places because of how crowded Florida is and the expense. Tennessee is fantastic. We got quite a bit of land. Nashville is booming. The thing about Nashville, though, they got to fix that traffic and them potholes. My Lord. I mean, goodness gracious. And the thing about Nashville and that area, it's built on granite. So it's like you got to really, the construction is a little bit tricky. So, yeah, they got to fix a lot with the infrastructure in Nashville to accommodate more people. Thank you to DB in Boise, who says, curious if you have recurring dreams, and if so, are they related to current events happening in the world or topics you cover on your channel? I think that's a good question. Thank you for that. So I have had recurring dreams before, but I've not had them lately. My dream for a long time was I missed the bus all the time. I may have said that before on the channel. I'm not quite sure if I did. But my recurring dream was I'm missing the bus every time. And I missed it in a variety of ways. Sometimes I'll be out in front of a house and the bus, I just missed the bus, or I'm walking toward the bus, school bus, like high school, and I realize I can just drive my car. I don't need to ride the bus. It's always like a bunch of different things, but I've not had those dreams in a long time. And what the dream meant to me was that I was not living my life to my full potential. I was not advancing forward in my life in the way that I should. I was holding myself back. I was not totally just doing what I should be doing. So I have had recurring dreams, but I've not had them in a while. And it's never been anything about any of my news topics. It's been about just my personal life and the direction I'm going. I missed the bus. Ow. Shout out Chris Cross. Okay. Shout out Chris Cross. That was my song back in the day, though. Yeah, I was like their age. Matter of fact, I think I am their age. Hold on. Now I got to look it up. Well, I'm a little bit younger than them. I'm about 5 or 6 years younger than them. When Jump came out, they were like 12 and 13. In 92, I was like, about 8 years old when they were 12. So we were like similar ages. They're like my older cousin's age, basically, but similar to me. If I'm in the 3rd grade, they're in the 6th grade or 7th grade, 8th grade, right around there. Anyway, I have callers. If you want to call in, the number to call 706-406-3287 is the number to call. Yep, the pants on backwards, absolutely. Yep, that was a thing. Yeah. Brian says the most awesome show when the lefty loony Zim Zerb they them TDS goofballs call in and to then get clowned by ABL. Where you at, progressive liberals? Okay, let's go to 310. Line 52.
Hey, ABL, this is Ron from Georgia. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
Oh, another big day. It's a beautiful day today. Nice and warm. Sun was out. Man, did a lot of things around the house. So, man, praise God, I was doing good today. Yeah, man, I just was so proud of our Warriors. Man, they showed out last week, man. I woke up Easter Sunday and heard that the 2nd Airman was found and rescued. Bless my heart. Bless my heart. And knowing that all the things that took place as far as like to get them, man, we got an awesome president and our soldiers, man, what a team. I tell you, we do have an awesome armed forces. They're awesome. Right now, like I said, with this supposedly temporary pause, all we're doing is getting a little breathing room, rotating out a aircraft carrier, bringing another one in, rearm, and giving the next team some real fighting experience, because this is experience that you cannot get on a training ground. I'm telling you. You can't get that experience. And these young men, they're 20 years old and 18, 20 young men out there getting this type of experience. You cannot buy. You cannot buy. And the courage that they're demonstrating and with the skills, man, oh man, I'll tell you, America should be proud. And it's so sad that when you hear people denigrating our servicemen, talking bad about them, or even the fact that they're rooting for the other team, man, this should not be. These people need to be, like I said, man, they need to be tried for treason. This is a treasonous act, just like the way Abraham Lincoln did when people was coming against what he was doing. Hey, guess what he did? He locked them up. He locked them up and put them on military trials. Didn't have that civil trial and everything like that. They had military court justice, and they didn't play with these folks. And that's what need to happen today. Like I said, and even with these YNs, these teenagers, or what's this, teen takeover? What's up with that? What's up with that, my friend? These teens found themselves taking over things. Yeah, they can't tie their shoes good, and yet they're out there taking over the streets. You know, the parents need to be held accountable for them. They out there arresting 13 or 8 or 7 other people. Man, they need to be arresting hundreds of them, and their parents need to come and pull them out of jail. They need to be fined. The parents need to be fined for not having an account for their children. Their children need to be out there cleaning the streets and everything like that. They need to be dealt with and dealt with severely. Like I said, I was looking at one of the young men talking about, I'm only 13, I'm 13. Yeah, I'm 16, I'm 16. Yeah, you're the ones we're after. You need to have your butt at home. You know, and that's the thing. Their parents dropping them off at the malls. They know what's going to go on over there. They know exactly what's going to go on over there, and yet they had the nerve to go ahead and drop their kids off over there to tear up and stomp on my car. Are you crazy? No, these kids need to be dealt with and need to be dealt with severely, along with their parents for allowing that. Because I tell you one thing, I had 5 kids, brother, and I knew exactly where they were. I knew exactly where they were, and guess where they was at? With me. And then they say, and when they went out and their friends come over the house, oh no, their friends can come over my house sagging, but I had belts waiting for them. I had belts when I said, bro, here's a belt. There you go. Put that stuff on right there. You know, I said, because I don't play that right here. My son today, none of my sons today, they don't be sagging or anything like that. In fact, one of my sons, just like me, I got an anti-sagging belt. You know what that is? Suspenders. Suspenders. That's an anti-sagging belt. I got a belt along with that. I got the belt so I can wear my strap good, and the suspenders so it doesn't be sagging, even with my strap on. You know what I'm saying? So it's an anti-sagging belt. Hey, it's airport proof and everything like that because it's plastic, but they have a good grip. You know what I'm saying? And my son be wearing that at work and everything like that. He said, yeah, Dad, my pants don't be going there. I said, isn't that great? I said, you can run and your pants stay up your butt. You know what I'm saying? Nobody has to look at all that mess. I said, that's what I don't know what's wrong with these kids today. When they going to come up with something new and proper? Man, I tell you. And these kids, these girls, all these boys, they really need to know what life's about. And they crashing out. I can't believe how many young folks crashing out because they got to go to work. They can't stand working 9 to 5. What the heck? 9 to 5. You said sometimes you're working from 9 to 9. I mean, if you had your own business, it's like what you do. I'm sure you're working more than 8 hours a day. You know, I mean, there are days where you put in, 16 hours. You know, say you got enough time just to close your eyes and get back up and have you some more salmon and with spinach. You know, you know what I'm saying? Got to get your good high protein going and everything. You know, just to get you going good, get that brain working and everything. But yet, like I said, people don't want to put in the work. Nothing in life is free. I don't care what it is. Nothing in life is free. And the only way you're going to get things is by go getting it and getting it good. You know, but like I said, we live in the greatest country in the world, even with its problems. Now, unfortunately, so many people in our nation right now that don't realize it. They don't realize it until it's taken away. But, you know, God is still able. We're going to come up on top, brother. Like I said, positive people make positive things happen, and it doesn't matter how many of these negative people that's being amplified. Positiveness is going to go, and we'll win. We will win. Our president is in our corner. He's doing what's best for our nation. We got to continue to keep him prayed for, along with our soldiers, along with his cabinet, and come against everything that they try to tear him down. You know, all lies will be revealed, and just like what's that, Swalwell? You know, everything that he put against Trump. Now look at it. He's looking like Boo Boo the Fool right now. You know, all these people coming out saying that he's doing this here, rape, it come out there and putting all these here things on him. And now he said, oh, just got to believe me. No, like you lied before. We're going to believe no lie. Good that you're out. Hope that they get some money out of it, the ones that's persecuting him. And then if when it comes back your way, get ready to get hit. But brother, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna let you go. I love you, brother. I love everybody. Keep praying for our nation. And we are going to win this war. I'm praying that they'll come up with some type of agreement, get the straits opened up, and get these gas prices back down. We can suffer a little bit longer, but the whole thing is that we want victory for sure. I love you. Take care. Keep praying. People, keep praying for our nation. Keep praying for the right. We can do it. We can do it. Love you, brother. You take care.
Thanks for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
You too, sir. Bye-bye.
All righty. Great call. Shout out to you guys. I got to get up out of here. I'm so hungry. I had a little bit of food today. I had some sushi. But, I'm like a half fasting today. A little bit. Yeah, because I had like a really big meal a couple of days ago. I'm just trying to not be a big back in 2026. Because what I can't be, hey, if y'all see me on this on these airwaves looking a little bit puffy, you be like, hey, ABL, you better calm down on them big back snacks, on the EBT foods. Calm down, because you can't have your big back exploding in 2026. That's not going to be me at all. So I'm about to get a morsel or a bite to eat before I die. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate you for rocking and rolling. If you like what you heard so far, if you enjoyed what you heard tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. This will also be on your favorite audio streaming platform as an audio-only podcast. That's going to be on Apple iTunes, Spotify, etc. Link for that will be in the description box, or visit your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. And y'all know I'm live each and every Wednesday and Saturday on the YouTubes. Also, Tuesday on the Instagrams. Shout out to you guys who are live on the Instagram with me every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. And what else is there? Go to ablmerch.com. Go to anthonyblogan.com. Follow my social media. Follow my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Never going to call it X, TikTok. Yes, I am on TikTok. I try to be as much as I can. They want to hate, but it's all good. I think I figured out what they want. So I am on TikTok if you guys are on that app. So that's pretty much all I got. Did I get everybody? I believe I did. All my supers. Let me make sure I didn't miss anyone before I wrap it on up, put the bow on top. And again, thank you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Y'all know I could not do the show without you. They got the miles of keeping the trolls in check. I appreciate y'all for that as well. Okay, did I get everyone? I did. I got everybody. So that'll be a wrap for me. Shout out to you guys. You guys have been great. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.